And just like that, it goes live, doesn't it? Okay. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Now, if you scroll up here, hi guys. And if you scroll up to brand and scroll up a little bit, we can put the little logo on. There you go. A little HTM logo. I'm here with my friend Francisco. Hi, I'm MarvelPhx Todd.
Hello.
He helps when I'm doing all of these modifications. So, are we crooked? Should I try to send this a little bit?
That's probably fun. It'd be interesting to see what how much workspace we have.
Right. So we can go from trying to learn what the camera can see. I hung a camera up. Well, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
It's from here to here. I just have to kind of work in this space. Yep. Anyway, it's weird. They have to just keep talking, I suppose, huh?
Yeah. Well, I assume we'll just continue our normal conversation like we would.
Like we just sit here and talk smack. And you're responsible for
the chat.
Chat. Yeah, you get to watch.
Deal.
I'm letting him keep an eye on the stream.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is working, so we are working on stage 74. This is on my modified Enterprise, not the stock one. So what we're doing is putting on this side pylon, pulling these tiny little springs apart. So the wiring, and I'll explain here what I'm doing. So this nacelle I had to put on. You wouldn't mount it yet, but I had to put this nacelle on because it does have the wiring for all the lighting inside, and so that needed to be encased inside the pylon halves. So that's already in place. And since we don't have the other nacelle yet, what we're going to do is just temporarily mount the nacelle pylon halves here. This has been ground down. I'll try to get up nice and close. Is to make room for the wiring. I did grind a little spot right here, not all the way through, just about halfway. I ground a little spot here and a little spot right there. And that's just to allow, when the other nacelle gets built, to allow this wire to wrap right there. So, but then this nacelle is done. I didn't put the plugs in right here. I don't put these plugs in until I'm done, like done. Make sure I never have to take this apart again. I am a little happy with the way that the nacelle fit on here. It is very stiff. I thought those were going to be those little spring attachments that are inside the nacelle were going to be like weak and allow this to wobble, but it is solid. It is not. There's no way that's coming off unless you pull it off. Since this is my modified nacelle, there's no power switch. I just put the battery cover on. You know, we'll never put batteries in there. That's what the wiring's for. So we're just going to put on the other pylon just to keep it in place, and I can take a picture of it. So we have this job, this guy, you know, there's a curve on the ends of this, but I can't see that it matters which way this goes in here. Doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. So I like to put these springs.
What? You put the springs in the hole?
Yeah, you can put the springs in the hole.
You weirdo.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. And we'll go ahead and put the pylon on. Actually, that's not gonna work. We'll put the springs on here. I don't know what this. I can just glue this thing in here. It's not a button. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. Why it's spring loaded makes no sense to me, other than maybe they didn't want to mount it a certain way. It doesn't matter. So we'll just need PPs. This is here. The springs go right through the plastic anyway. Again, this is just temporary until we get the other nacelles. So I'm just going to pop this on here, and we'll put some screws in it just to kind of keep it there until we get the other nacelle. Then we'll have to pull this back off. So let's use this screwdriver. Thanks, Eric. Eric said he shared the links.
Okay.
Did you put it in the Partwork Central YouTube channel too? How many people are here? 3. Oh, that's kind of cool. These are all just temporary screws. I don't have to make them super tight. This is just so I don't lose these parts. Yep. Because who knows when we'll start seeing the other nacelle? Because that could. Who knows when that's going to happen?
So the goal we're trying to get to today is to put that top plate on, because we did all this wiring.
Yes, we'll show the wiring
Yeah.
here. So this is obviously, this part here is not really a modification. I did not modify the nacelles, these panels in any way. But we did do a lot of modifications to some of the star drives. So I'll show that. And if everybody sticks around, I am going to hook everything up back to the electronics and show you the Wi-Fi. I did get the Wi-Fi working. It does work with Alexa. So we'll hook the whole thing up and see how it goes. I could be saying stuff too early. Yeah. Anyway, so now the pylon's on. I'm going to take a quick picture of this because I do take pictures with my SLR. So that's just temporary. I'll take a quick picture. Just to show that piece in place. All right, what's next?
We're done with that.
Okay.
So let's move back to putting on the nacelle bracket upper panel.
All right. So while he is looking that up, I will show you what I did here. So these are two LEDs, a red and a green, that are designed to go in the back of this panel. So this normally would just have two LEDs from Eaglemoss. I'm not using any of the Eaglemoss wiring. So these are the lights for the rear formation lights. This one I marked green, so that's the green one actually on the side. These have resistors built in, so I use a 150 on the red lights, a 330 on the greens, 150 ohm, 330 ohm resistors. That's to keep the brightness of these lights about the same. The green is typically a little brighter for the same power, so I put a little bigger resistor on it to kind of get these to be about the same brightness, same mini candela. And then we also, which I'll show you this because it's actually still hooked up to the power. This is the rear part of the star drive, and since why not, the torpedo launcher that's normally in the back here was just a solid panel. Eaglemoss did not put anything back here. So what I did, and I'm going to get really close, see if you guys can see it. I drilled a hole in that. Is it going to show? Let me see if I can get to focus. God, I'm doing that thing where everybody puts their hand in front of the camera. I don't think it wants to focus on that. But anyway, there's a little hole drilled in there, and I painted it dark gray, so it matched kind of the side of the neck, dark gray. And then we took an orange LED, put it on a wire, put it on a 150 ohm resistor, and I used a little piece of blue tack to hold that LED behind that hole. In front of the LED is 4 pieces of Scotch tape just stacked on top of each other to act as a little diffuser. And if I turn this on, we've basically, oh, let me turn on my power supply. We've basically added a rear torpedo launcher. Now I'm going to wire this to the front torpedo launcher, so it'll fire at the same time. Since you can't look at the front and back of the ship at the same time, we'll have a little torpedo launcher that works in the back. So that is added to this. So we'll unwire that and we'll get on to the next part.
All right. So stage, where are we at? 72.
I think we started 74.
Yeah. So 74 step D is to attach the bracket upper panel.
Yes. So 74 was to add a panel to the saucer, and we're going to have to come back to the saucer. So I'll show you that panel we added. I did resin windows. So this is all resin windows all the way across. They've already been painted on the backs. I don't use the blue tape. This is what I typically use when I use resin windows, but this does not bend well. It does not mold the curves. It is very kind of stiff. And so for this, I use Tamiya's 12 millimeter tape for curves. This works really well. I've tried a ton of different tapes, everything from Scotch tape, packing tape, 3 or 4 different kinds of modeling tapes. This works the best. It doesn't leave a bad surface on the windows. It doesn't overstick. You just have to be careful because this is made out of resin as well. So when you hit it with the UV light, you have to use very short blasts because this tape will get hot. If it gets too hot, it'll melt this plastic. So you just got to be careful. Anyway, so that's all done. The windows are all done. And then the reflectors, both the actual window panel, which I shaved all the windows off of and painted white, the reflectors are also painted white. So there's a double layer of diffusion in here because the LEDs are going to be very close inside the star drive. So that will leave all of this hopefully very well diffused. And I can show you what it's going to look like. We'll put a flashlight underneath it and you can see it's going to diffuse those lights really well. There's not a lot of windows lit in the back.
Yeah. And the black is painted on.
Yep, the black's painted on. It's about 3 coats of, I use both Tamiya XF1 black or Vallejo's 71057 black, just black paint.
Yep.
To paint the insides of each one of the resin windows. I put a very bright light behind each window to make sure it's not leaking any light. Typically, you have to put about 3 coats because any bubbles are going to leak light and things like that, so all the dark windows will stay dark.
Cool.
Okay, so I guess now we're at the point where we need to put these pre-made LEDs.
And they don't have any way of holding them in, according to the instructions.
Yeah, we're going to make a way.
Yeah.
Right, so we need to move this over here, out of the way.
You're supposed to just, I think, hope and pray.
Yeah. So.
And they don't have you installing any sort of we don't have the plastic piece to actually bring the light out either.
There's a little tab, you know, when you're building the stock one, there's a little tab that sits basically between the leads of the LEDs. So in essence, it would sit kind of like that. Now we pre-bent all the wires, all the leads on the LEDs before we soldered on them, so they would fit in there. We used heat shrink tape on the inside. I'll get a little closer. We did heat shrink tape on the inside leads so they would not touch each other in short. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little piece of tape here.
Yeah.
We'll just use a little electrical tape. You want to cut me a piece of that? Because we need to get these wires kind of close together because they need to run up inside this. We do not want to put a piece. You don't want to put a piece of tape over that post. There's a post right there that screw goes into.
Yeah. About an inch? No, half inch?
Even less than that. Maybe 3/8.
Okay.
And we're just gonna to keep the LEDs from moving around.
Just one?
Yep, just one. Where's that post? Put it right behind that post. Just to kind of hold those LEDs in place. When this whole thing is put together, these LEDs will be held in place by the top other panel. Yeah. This is just to keep in place so I can actually do something. All right, what's next?
Grab the frame and flip the frame upside down. They want you to put it up from the bottom because we have to put the 3 EPs or 4 EPs in. And at the same time, they also want us to put the battle section rear assembly, that other piece with the.
Of course they do. So I'm going to turn this over because I don't want to hurt my nacelle that I spent so much time making. This wire is just going to kind of go right in there. This is going to go up from underneath, right? And these wires, I think, they just go straight in, right? They don't come up to this hole.
No, they don't. They just go straight through.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
So we'll put this piece on. I know it has some.
It clicks in pretty well.
It did click in the first time I tried it. Yes. So we'll just.
Hopefully our modifications don't prevent that.
Nope. Looks good.
Okay.
Okay.
Then take the battle section rear assembly. Yep. And mount it.
Oh, so this piece is going to hold that piece down, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, so we'll put this piece.
EP screws.
In here.
Which is a new. Have you seen EPs before?
I think we have used EPs. But we're just going to do that. Put them on a screwdriver for me.
Yeah. There. Go.
Into plastic, so I'm just going to get this started. I think it's going to fix that again.
Oh, what the hell did you do?
I know.
You have one job, Todd.
I know. So this is my first live stream. I've never live streamed before, but I got a new camera.
You have.
No, like my own live stream.
Oh.
I've been on other people's live streams.
Oh.
I've joined streams.
Okay.
I've been involved in other streams, but I've never actually started one myself. But we got a Streamlabs account, sharing one. So.
And if there's any feedback on audio quality, that's the big question mark for me. Is how, is it picking up the fan? Is it loud enough?
So I'm using the mic. So I bought a new C22 922X to use as a camera. I bought a little mount that sticks on top of my lights here to hold the camera above the table and not mounted to the table because the table moves around. And does it sound okay? I see no comments coming in, so I don't know who's watching, but I can't.
People. 5 of them. I don't know what they're doing.
Can you people hear me? Is it coming through okay? I know there's probably a delay in the comments, but
that is the final step of this stage. So take your photo.
All right, well, let me make sure this looks good from the top. Oh, that looks pretty good. I think we'll make a small adjustment over here.
That is weird, isn't it? It's like the gap on this side feels bigger than
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to fix. I didn't tighten anything. I just loosely attached these because I like to pull the seams together and make sure we have as minimal a gap as possible. So what we'll do is we'll pull this nice and tight, and I'll do this side.
And then at some point, we'll probably also want to test the lighting one more time. Now that it's assembled.
Interesting. So I think that has to be centered. So let's try that. Let's undo this. Undo this. I think this has the ability to rotate a little bit. That looks better.
This is a conversation we've had before about it takes just a little bit of extra care to make it look better. Like you could just slam it together, but you'll end up with this sort of funky gaps. But if you just take the time to actually try and move the panels to fit better, that seems to help most of the time.
There we go. Is
Yeah.
that better?
Yeah, that looks better.
All right.
All right.
I still see no comments. I hope it's working.
I hope it's working too. All right.
Somebody say something so I know that people can hear us.
All right. You need to take your.
What else? Oh, that was the last one?
Yep, last one. So take your photo. Oh.
It's okay. I think we're just going to kind of route it right in there and out the front. I do want to put, you got this. Yeah. It's so weird.
I know.
I don't know if people can hear us.
I
hope so.
Yeah.
All right. You know what you could do is get on your phone and see if it's streaming to my YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Dustin says he can hear. Perfect.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin.
Feels slightly less crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let me take a picture.
Photo.
Should I light up the...
I think we should test the rear lights one more time.
Okay.
Now that it's in place.
So, we'll test the...
We keep just a benchtop power supply.
Yep.
Right next to it.
It's always here and it's always on. So, we'll test our little...
Oh, all right.
Rear torpedo launcher lights.
Good.
That's good. It's back there and it's lit.
Yep.
I will change this over to the formation lights.
Yeah, we just need to see if it's diffused at all, or if we can see it through the holes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So can't really see it very well, I suppose.
If you set it down on the table,
You can kind of see the red and green there. Now, if I turn it over, obviously you could see it because these lights are underneath. But so there's the red and green lights. There's diffusers coming.
Yeah.
We just don't have them yet. That'll actually take this light and bring it down to the holes, right? Because it has to go through the top and the bottom.
Yep.
But at least these colors are the exact colors, not just trying to spray white light into a red-green diffuser.
If you just let it sit, you can see it bounce off the mat. It actually looks kind of
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I just don't want these to touch each other.
Yes, let's not have a short. There you go. See, you can see the red and the green.
Yeah.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
Then you probably can really see it.
Yeah.
There you go. Ha!
Alexa,
Looks good.
turn on the studio. Oh yeah, sorry about that. We should probably not do that terribly often.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I get to see the cool effect. Yes, Dustin, I am modifying the heck out of mine. This model remodel, this is the version that I'm severely changing everything. I'm not using any of the stock Eaglemoss wiring. I'm doing all my own lighting, adding Arduinos, Bluetooth, infrared control, wireless control. I've just been messing with a whole bunch of stuff. So, but it's all on my website, which is myenterprised.com. I try to document everything I'm doing. I got training stuff on there and how to learn Arduino and all sorts of things. So I think, if you're going to copy the remodel, go here, mods, just the main page, just that one. That has all the parts on it. I think he's going to throw a link in the comments to all the documentation I'm doing for all of this.
Yeah. Maybe all of the ridiculous work we've done.
Yeah.
Will come in handy. Oh, how we found? Oh yeah, there you go. There, good.
Oh, look at that. I think that was Buck did it for me.
There you go.
All right, so that was the end of 74?
Yes.
Is that where we're at?
That was the end of 74, yeah. So
okay.
Now we're on...
Put some screws away so we don't... I'm really surprised that we didn't screw this on from underneath, but my guess is that the bottom panel has all the screw posts.
Yeah, that would be a good guess. Those are all VPs. Put them back.
Yep, putting all the VPs away.
And then if you have a screw for EP, there's EP right there.
Where'd that go? There it is. Okay.
So these are all of the extra screws from every single step.
On two different models.
Two different models.
Yes.
And they've come in handy more times than I can think.
Yes.
Between losing screws and trying to find slightly thicker screws because the castings are messed up and the hole's too wide, it's been really nice.
Yeah, and I take the labels right off the screw bags and put them in here, and then stick them on the back, and then chop the tops of the sticker off so it doesn't stick to the lid. Let's get this one off. I think I needed that for the IM screw too. These are the tweezers.
Dustin says he's gonna, after he's thinking about filling the panel gaps and repainting to match the studio model.
Yes, I saw that Scale Models has finally released the paint set that they were going to make using the supposedly the specific colors that Eaglemoss said that these paints were. So Scale Models is now, apparently you can buy them from their site. I am going to pick up a set. I will test it. But I do have, I did do some paint tests with Vallejo paints, and I found some very, very close matches. For the hull, I used Citadel Administrative Gray Air. It is a very, very close match to the base hull color. And then I have some Vallejos that match, yes, not that one, the other one. I have some Vallejos colors that match the Aztec. All right, so get that off screen.
So it's obviously hard to tell colors on a screen,
yeah,
but...
so I don't know if you're going to be able, I did a whole bunch of panel test colors. And the one that matches the green the best is actually this 255. So it'd be a 71.255 in Vallejo. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So it's the 255 to match the green. And then the one next to it, I believe, is the one I found that matches the non-base color. Where is it? Very hard to see on here. Because if you can see, there's actually a big blob of administrative gray right there. You can't even see it because that Citadel administrative gray matches the base color very, very well. And then the light gray, I believe I used this one, which is 71.046. Don't ask me what the names of them are. I have to go pull the paints out.
Do you have a picture of that anywhere on the site? That panel?
I do not. No. But I have panel test paint. I've done so many color tests with different paints. He brought up the other panel I was doing it with too.
Yeah.
But I haven't had to touch anything up just yet. I've only used the administrative and gray. I have not used the Aztec and colors yet. You can have that back to see.
All right. Let's stage 75.
All right. All right. Welcome back, Eric. 75. What are we doing?
Ventral saucer escape pods.
All right. So 70.
We need
let's grab 75.
L307.
There's 75. I knew we were going to go back to the saucer.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're done with the. You took the photos?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we can
Gotta
put
hand me
this
that whole thing.
someplace else for now.
Yeah. Make sure.
And we'll open up 75. Now, I've already dug into this bag because I went through, I grabbed everything from, I had issues, stages 59 through 82. So I pulled all of those panels, reflectors out of these bags in advance. I did all of the resin windows already. I did all of painting the reflectors white already. So those are not in these bags anymore. So I'll show you those here in a second. Those were done in advance so I could do them all at once. That's gone. When I remove metal panels, and this is just a tip I do, is when I remove metal panels, I never pull the panel out of the plastic. I pull the plastic away from the panel. That way you don't risk bending it. I don't need that. You want to, I'm going to grab some stuff.
I can
I'll find the panels. Do you want to chop those off?
Yeah, I'll chop those off. Do we need to do have you been doing the trimming on the?
Yes.
So you have been? All right.
Yes, I have been trimming all the nubs off.
Okay.
So this is, what panel is this? L307.
Yep.
That doesn't have reflectors.
Nope.
It's only
Just
life pods.
pods. All right. So.
Another thing I do is with these lower panels, I did not do it on the upper saucer. With these lower panels, well, with all panels, I always take a toothpick and get any of the flashing out of the, like there's a piece of metal, you can barely just see it, but when you can see there's metal flashing sticking into these holes, and flashing is just rough edges, I just use a wooden toothpick and just round them out. It'll get the, it'll work on plastic and it works on the die cast somewhat. Works really well on plastic, but just to kind of get any rough edges out of these holes, just toothpick. Thank you. So on the upper panels, I just pop these in. I always glue them in, but I just pop these in. On the upper panels, I actually had to tape them off to black them out. For whatever reason, Eaglemoss decided that now they're going to give us blackout covers, which these work perfect, so I don't need to tape them anymore. But on the lower ones, I wanted all of these lifeboats to stick out of the hull a slight bit. And in order to do that, there's little ribs, and this is so not going to show up.
No.
I don't know, how do you get the, I wonder if this camera can even count. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's little nubs, 2 little nubs there, 2 little nubs there, and there's actually 1 on either side. It went out of focus again. Yeah. But anyway, I chopped the top 2 off and the bottom 2 off with just a razor blade, just cut them off. That way they'll sit a little deeper in these holes, and they will stick out of the hull. They'll be raised a little bit, and that's what I was going for. So he's chopping those off right now. I'm going to get a little bit of glue. Get my little glue tub here, which is just some part probably from my R2D2. Put some Loctite gel. This is my glue of choice. I put a little blob. For all the people that do this and just talk to themselves, like, it's different because I feel like I'm talking to you.
I know.
Even though other people are listening.
I know.
The people that, how does everybody do this where they just talking to themselves?
I don't understand how that works.
Like all these, you know.
Because you and I are usually sitting here just talking nonsense.
Yeah, we're always talking nonsense. These are all chopped.
Yeah, no, those 4 up there are chopped.
Still those.
All right, these.
Thanks. Yeah, it's very strange to just be talking to yourself. And I suppose you want to be talking all the time, because if you're not talking all the time, it's just dead silence, which is probably not that interesting.
Yeah, I think radio rules apply here. Which is, there's
never dead air is the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so just putting a little line of glue on the tops and bottoms of each of these.
What are you using to put the glue on?
This is just a pin vise with a piece of craft wire in it.
Or sometimes a resistor.
A toothpick. It could be any piece of wire, toothpick, whatever you want to use. I mean, however you put glue on. And when I put these in, I roll them in from the side. I'll try to bring this a little closer. I roll these in from the side so they don't touch the glue. Because if you get glue on the face of the, hatch, it will take the color of the hatch off, all the little markings. We don't want that to happen. I'm gonna give them a good, see that one pop right out. So I gotta make sure there's no glue on there. Pop that one back in. Give them a good push. Make sure you have no glue in your fingers. Give them a good push.
Are you still powering it with battery packs or molding?
I am not powering it with the battery packs. There will be no batteries in my model. My model is going to be powered by a wall unit, like an AC/DC adapter.
Oh, you actually, if we're working on the saucer, you'll be able to see in a couple minutes the big, huge power feed that we have going into the.
Yep. So I'm putting this on the back just to act as a brace that I can push all these through really hard, get them all sitting. And if you look really closely, and hopefully this will come through on camera, because this camera wants to focus on everything else that's in the background. Get something nice and big. No, see, it's got to be a trick. Somebody tell me the trick to get this to focus. But anyway, these are just barely sticking out of the hull. That's what I wanted. I wanted them to just stick out just a little bit. This one's being kind of a little bit of a pain.
It's possible that it maybe still has a little bump on it. I'm trying to...
No, I fixed it.
Okay, good.
So that, and then we'll do the same thing on the bottom row. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a 5-volt, probably 5 amp AC/DC adapter up to the base, and that should power everything inside of it. The neck, so the neck and the saucer, or the battle section and the saucer, are separatable on this build. I basically connected the two halves with Bluetooth sensors, Bluetooth transmitters, so they can talk to each other via Bluetooth. That way they can be displayed separately, and everything stays in sync, right? So when you turn on the formation lights and the saucer come on. When you turn on the windows, the windows and the saucer come on, and you could actually have them physically separated. The power, when they're connected, there is a adapter. I have one here, I'll show you. There is a barrel plug adapter, just like this, that is buried inside the battle section neck that matches one coming out of the saucer, which we'll show you here in a second. And that is all that connects when the two sections are connected. This powers both of them together. That's the only thing you need to do is provide power to the saucer, and you're done.
And the electronics will know that they're separated.
Yes,
because of a magnetic reed switch.
That is correct.
Which was a fun addition.
Yeah, we added a magnetic reed switch into the top of the Cobra head, which matches up to these magnets, these little guys right here. Which will be mounted inside the saucer. So when the saucer is pulled away from the battle section, the Arduino will detect that they're disconnected, and it'll actually turn on different formation lights, play a sound, things like that.
The magnets are not used to actually hold them together.
No.
We're going to use whatever method Eaglemoss decided, which we don't know that yet, right?
No, because Eaglemoss is kind of like, they're up in the weeds on that one.
Because I don't know that you could use magnets to hold them together.
I don't think you
that is heavy and a crazy
we're not even done with the saucer, and it already weighs a ton. So
yeah. So maybe somebody can figure it out. But
put this on here, give it a good squeeze, and get all these little saucers.
No, the magnets are not for transfer power either. They're just so that the saucer and the star drive know when they're near each other.
Yeah, so there's a magnetic reed switch we mounted inside the top of the Cobra head. So the top of the Cobra head, where the battle bridge is, up in the very front, we put a magnetic reed sensor inside the Cobra head. That, because this metal is zinc, it's non-ferrous, which means magnets will go right through it. And so we'll put a magnet, these little stack of magnets, these little neodymium. There'll be a stack of these magnets mounted inside the shell, which we don't have yet, of where the Cobra head goes up to in the saucer. I'm sure there's going to be one piece that we go up inside the saucer. So we'll mount these magnets stacked inside that, right above where that magnetic reed switch is. And so when the Cobra head is inside the saucer, these magnets will trigger that reed switch, and the Arduino watches the reed switch to see if it's open or closed. And so the Arduinos will be able to realize that the two halves are not connected anymore.
Yep.
All right, so I can put these in.
Yeah.
You want to screw these in? I'm sure they're
2 AMs.
AM screws, these little guys here. There you go. Oil.
Oh yeah, metal.
It's kind of fun.
It is, yeah.
It's kind of fun interacting with people.
Actually, like when people have questions. because then we've done so much has happened in the last however long this thing has been getting built.
Yes.
It's fun to talk through some of those things again. Okay, this is on.
I'm gonna take some pictures of that real quick. So we didn't do anything special. There's no modifications to this really. They do stick out a little bit, and so now we'll get the saucer. This little thing, which is the screw cover, it has 2 little pins on the back, and it goes in and covers up this screw hole. I don't put these in, not until the model is almost pretty much done, because you put this in, you're never going to get it out again, and you'll never be able to get to the screw. And even on this build, I've already had to take it apart like twice.
Yeah.
So I don't put these little detail covers in. I save them in my little box.
Yeah. I don't think there's a single panel that hasn't come off 3 or 4 times.
No, I've taken the saucer apart 3 times. I've taken the neck apart twice. I just put these in here I have a bunch of other ones. Yeah. I don't put any screw covers in until we're done.
Yep.
I think we do need to put this on though.
Yes, that's the next step. We need 2 IM screws for that.
That's interesting. It doesn't. Which way does it go? Since this stupid thing fits both ways.
It does not fit both ways.
Oh, it's off by just a little bit. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Smart.
So that goes in there. That's probably IMs.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
A little oil, please.
Yep. Oil.
These little guys in.
We probably can't play music.
I won't be able to do the demo. No.
Yeah.
The demo plays the theme music, and you can't. Theme music is obviously belongs to CBS or Paramount or
I just meant like our background music that we usually have going when.
Oh no! I normally that's one of the reasons I don't stream is because I sit here and listen to music when I build, and you can't really do that if you're streaming to YouTube. You get some strike.
Yeah.
Or something.
All right.
That looks pretty good. So this typically leaks light right there, right along the bottom edge of this, and we'll take a look and see if it's going to do it. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So on all of these outside edge pieces, all of these rim edge pieces, I take a little bit of my Oohoo Power Pro tack. It's basically blue tack, but it's kind of gray. It's this stuff. Amazon ran out, so I'm trying to make it last as long as possible. So I just take a little bit of this and roll it between my fingers into a ball, and then kind of roll it into a little line, and then I just seal that gap because I don't want light leak. I also do this to all the panels that go at the bottom of the ship. You'll see in a second. So I have some little pottery tools, little plastic pottery tools, and I just close that gap up. If you're going to do this, make sure you do not get it into this channel. There's a channel right here that the upper saucer sections the upper deck panels need to fit into, so don't get any stuff in there. But this is just so I don't have any more light leak coming out the bottom of that. I'll get another little piece. We'll jam it in this. Why there's a hole in this? Who knows? I don't need very much. Stick this in there. Again, just wad this up in the. It sticks pretty good. Just get it in there so it seals up the edge gap. And then we'll get one more little piece over here. Eric, this stuff does not dry. It pretty much stays gummy like this forever. It's just like blue tack does the same thing. I have never seen this stuff dry out. It just always kind of stays gummy. It is quite sticky. And you don't want any in the ledge here either. But the panels touch each other. If you have it, there's little grooves. There's like an overlay pattern, very much like the Titanic, where these panels overlay into each other. There's little grooves here, and you don't want this stuff in that groove. Because when you squeeze the panels together, it'll push it up through the panel. So all I want to do is, and I probably use too much, is just seal that gap. So when I put a light on it again, I don't have any light coming up through this tiny little pinhole there. I'll get that. And then I think we're going to be good. this is what I use to seal the upper saucer panels. This and a little bit of tape, and that looks good.
And that stuff's been on there for at least a month.
Yeah, you're going to see it here in a second, because now that this panel's done, he's going to bring the saucer up.
Yep.
So we'll put this off to the side. Put this
It's been a month in, the dry Southwest, and it hasn't gotten any less gummy.
No, I live in Arizona. Obviously, it's MarvelPhx, so it's Go ahead.
All right, make room. She's coming in.
There it is. So if you didn't know, I'm building two of these. I'm building two enterprises. One is for me. This is mine, and I'm building one for Eaglemoss. They asked me if I would do a build guide set for them and just take pictures of it being put together. That's saucer, if you want to grab it.
Yep.
If I get caught up on all my issues on this one, I will start over at step 58 on this one. This is the Enterprise. This is the Eaglemoss. That's mine. Eaglemoss, mine. So
a lot less wiring.
There's a lot more wiring in here.
Yeah.
A lot more wiring. And from what I can tell, it looks like we're actually going to get a fourth PCB. So there's going to be even more wiring.
Yep.
Because there are mounting holes right here and right here that fit the exact same shape as these other PCBs. So this one is going to get, but honestly, if you do it right, the Eaglemoss one doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
It does rattle.
Got to admit, as long as you work on the panels and route the wires correctly, it doesn't look bad.
And that's completely unmodified.
Yeah, this is completely stock. You can tell because all the little windows, if you look really closely, all the little windows are sticking out. It's like they're, and you can hear them rattling. The windows stick out of the hull, which is weird. So anyway,
yeah, the amount of wiring that we pulled out of it was intense.
All right, this goes, I assume, on this side.
Yeah, it goes there.
So I like these lines, these gaps. Let me just get this up a little bit.
Yep.
These lines here, or these seams here, these seal really well. Not a lot of light comes out of them, but this gap here does not seal very well. So what I like to do is take a piece of aluminum tape and cut a strip that'll fit in there.
The nice thing about aluminum tape is, one, it's super sticky.
It is very sticky.
And two, it holds its shape, so you don't have to actually get underneath there to push it up against the other panel. You can sort of let it float, and it almost acts like a brush, right? Like a brush on a sliding door or something, where it just covers up.
Yeah, it is. And I can show you a little closer, Dustin. So all of my electronics, I took there's two 3D printed bases in here that we 3D printed that holds all the electronics, holds the Arduino, holds the DF player, holds the MOSFET for the windows, for the LED strip, the speakers, USB adapter cable so I can program it after it's built, the Bluetooth adapter. So it's all here. And then the only wires I needed were, this is the power wire that goes to the neck, and then the lighting, the various formation lights, the rear formation lights, the impulse engine, so on and so on. And you compare that to the Eaglemoss one, that just has wiring everywhere. So,
and all of the electronics in there are held on with, essentially, these are early prototypes of the pieces, but you can see them match up basically there and there. And these were 3D printed and designed in-house.
Yeah.
These are really fun.
Francisco did it.
It was a fun, I liked it.
We did a lot of work together, and he built it in Fusion 360, and then I made some modifications in SketchUp.
Yep.
And then I have a Anycubic 4K mono.
Yeah.
And kept learning. Never 3D printed before. Never done it before. Made a lot of mess. Made a lot of errors. But slowly figured it out. And got those printed. The STL files are on my website. I'm not here to make money, or if you want to do this, you can download those STLs and print them yourself.
Yep, and you'll be able to mount an Arduino, an HC05 Bluetooth module, a MOSFET, 2 speakers, all of that stuff on that file that already exists.
Yeah. I'm just having to help.
Yeah, what you're dealing with right now is the one downside of aluminum tape, which is it can get really hard to take that.
Well, it's very sticky.
Yeah.
So it wants to stick to the back of it.
There you go.
All right, so, and then all I do is, we're going to take this and just stick it right there to the bottom of this, all the way to the gap. Let me get my tweezers.
These?
Yeah.
Blunt ones.
No, it doesn't matter. Sure. and tuck it in there. And I just stick it to the edge, and then all I do is just fold this edge down. Make sure it's nice and stuck. It's super sticky, so. And then just stick it to the bottom of this panel. All I'm trying to do is prevent light from coming up through this gap, and it doesn't have to be super insanely attached. It doesn't. All you're doing is preventing the bouncing light that's inside the nearest LED strips right here. So we're just preventing. It's so sticky. Preventing that light from coming up through this gap. We'll just get that.
I wonder if we can change the response name of the robot in here to something else, because every time I say it on stream, I worry someone has their speakers on that we're making their Alexa do stuff.
Oh, well, only if they have something called Studio. So really not going to matter.
That's a good point.
They can always mute their Alexas. So
you should change yours to computer.
No.
Come on, we're building an enterprise.
Oh, that's true, right?
Yeah, that's what.
That would not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny.
That's what Chrissy does. That's why when I come here, I'm like, oh, I can't just yell at yours and say, hey, computer, turn on the whatever.
Just tuck this tape in there. Let's get it out of the way. I think I just want to. I'm going to take a little tiny ball. That's not the right stuff.
No, that's
I am going to take a little tiny ball of this blue tack.
which we're recycling because we took it off other panels.
Yes, and I am going to stick it right down here in this gap because I don't want the little pinhole that hides right there. Now that I have the tape in place, I can use it as a platform. So I can take and I can wedge it into this little tiny pinhole that is right here at the seam. And that's all it is. I can give you a nice little zoom in. There's just a piece of tape there. Just stuck to that panel. And that way, when I take this panel,
And you need 2 FMs.
and I come in at an angle, and you got to kind of, you have to make sure it catches the upper lip, right? So the upper panels have to fit into this. So I take this and then just push it in. Just like that. Make sure that it did catch the upper panels. Make sure the upper panels are smooth on the other side. And then get this nice in there. Just like that. Now, if we want, we can do a quick lights test.
Yeah, let's do a light leak test.
Where are my little pins? Uh-oh. I lost my pins. Up there. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to short circuit I'm going to basically jump my MOSFET where the LED strip connects to the MOSFET is right here on these headers. So I'm just basically going to send 5 volts into it using my power supply. So we're just going to stick this right in here and basically jump start it just like that.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
And we'll see if we have any light leak. We do not. Looks perfect. No gap leak. All right.
Alexa, turn on the studio. Shield your eyes, everyone.
Yes, it's going to get bright.
Yeah.
Now we'll tighten this down. So we need FM screws.
Yeah, 2 FMs.
You want to do that?
I got you.
I'm going to clean up a little bit here. So we'll stay on top of what we're doing.
Yep. Screwdriver.
I'll use this one. Use the PHO deal.
This container has, is this just all-in-one oil?
That is 3-in-1.
Or 3-in-1 oil.
That Buck needs to order.
Yeah,
Buck.
Slacker. Order 3-in-1. And while you're at it, order one of these containers.
He did. He does
Oh,
have
nice.
the container. I
Yes.
saw on his last stream he did buy the container. I recommended it to him, and he likes it too. So that's
Yeah.
good.
This is used in professional environments when they're doing like electronics manufacturing. That's actually where.
I thought it was for cotton balls for people doing their nails.
What's happening here?
What is that?
That hole's not big enough.
What?
Is the hole big enough?
I don't know.
I mean, it looks pretty small.
Hang on a second. Watch this.
Flashing.
There you go.
Oh, it's a plastic one, right?
No, it's metal.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, just painting the hole. It happens.
Yeah.
It
How
happens.
tight do you want this?
It's
All
metal
the
to
way?
metal. Yeah, you can tighten it all the way.
Okay. Go back and snug this one up. Okay. All right.
Yeah. When we get to the point where I hook this up to the star drive, I have to rewire the star drive again. We'll have to hook the star drive, but I'll show you how the Wi-Fi works. Basically, the Wi-Fi adapter, which is only this big, is tiny. That Wi-Fi is programmed to go talk to Blink, which is an online cloud-based automation platform. Blink with a Y. And then you can control things, data streams through that Blink connection. And then I use if this then that to create applets that connects to my Alexa and lets her control Blink. So it's complicated. I would not recommend it to anybody because it's too much work. But the Bluetooth works, and the Bluetooth is cool. All right, where are we at?
That was the end of that one. Take your photo.
Just this panel?
Just that panel.
That was the whole issue? Okay.
Oh, we also had to put the windows in. Or not the windows, the deals.
All right. Picture taken. What's next?
Stage 76.
Okay.
It's I think it's some framework. Yeah.
Looks like another piece of saucer. I watch a lot of people build this. Like I watch pretty much anybody that's building it. I've watched your stream. And I love watching people. They just cuss this thing out like to no degree. It is lots of cussing and swearing, and they don't understand why Eaglemoss made the decisions they did. And to be fair, neither do I. But that's why after stage 58, I decided to redo everything.
That was a fun day.
Yes. So I'm guessing the first half of this stage we don't even have to do because basically it's got these little tiny plugs, these little doohickeys that are going to hold LED lights.
Yep.
But guess what? I don't use any of this.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put this in my pile of wires.
Yep. So yeah, step A was to
not going to use these.
Attach a bunch of LEDs, which we're not going to do.
But I do save them just in case. You never know. If anything, I can use them as griblies. Save those. All right. So just this.
Yep.
Again, I pop the plastic away from the metal, not the metal out of the plastic.
Right. Position the
I
lower
assume
skeleton.
this is going to go over here.
Yes.
The other side. All right.
And we're going to use 4 FMs and then an AM for that overlapping weird hole.
So right here, this has to go underneath. This guy has to go underneath this guy. You may or may not be able to slide it under there. Sometimes I find that I have to loosen these screws, so I'll do that real quick, just so I'm not bending things. Just to give us a little bit of leeway on this part of the skeleton. We'll just get this under there, just like that. And then make sure all these can fit down onto the skeletal supports, which are the rings that we put in. Make sure these line up. I do see a couple places where there's some flashing, so I just use my screwdriver to clean that out. Just real quick.
I think he's mentioning about a pile of shame from Eaglemoss. I think he's mentioning that we're collecting a pile of shame from Eaglemoss.
Oh, should we put it on the table?
No. Well, I think the pile of shame is all of the parts that are like miscast. That is the shame. That is the pile of shame.
Yeah, you know what? I've had 2 pieces that have come miscast.
Yeah.
I've had one of the rings around the saucer, or rings around the bridge. So one of the big ring panels that goes across the front of the bridge was missing one of the mounting posts. So when you flipped it over and tried to mount it, it wasn't there. And then this panel, 59A, this guy right here, I got one that had no arm. There's 2 little legs, little tabs that stick off the side here, and one side was just completely missing. But they sent me a replacement. I actually got it today.
Yeah.
And that's for the other one. That's for my stock one.
That's the thing. They have been super responsive on that stuff, which is nice.
You're gonna need a bunch of BMs, because these are all going to be BMs, and these are going to be FMs along the bottom.
8 BMs. So let's start with the 8 BMs.
If you ever worked on like putting a wheel on a car, and they teach you the star pattern, I do the same thing with big pieces of metal. I will start these and work kind of in a zigzag around the way. Because I want it to sit nice and flush. So I'll put a couple in here. I do not tighten these all the way. Not until all of the screws are in, then I will go back and tighten them. And that's just to prevent any warping, make sure that this panel sits down all the way. That. The oil.
Yeah, that's something we learned.
Automotive classes. Yeah, I learned it first in high school.
Like when I first put a head back on a motor, and they're like, always do it in a star pattern, or else you will warp the head.
Yep. So I just get these started.
This is way more fragile than a head on a motor. So
same point though.
Oh yeah, because I could see how they're supposed to sit in just a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always done this when I'm putting screws in. I don't know that it really makes a difference on something so small, but it could. My biggest worry is that if one of these frames is off, if one of these frames is off kilter, it's going to make a whole bunch of panels out of whack.
Yep.
And so.
And the zinc bends easy.
Yeah, and the zinc bends super, super easy. So now I have all 8 of these BMs in.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and we'll do the 4 FMs.
Oh,
yeah, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 FMs. We do have to make sure we don't pinch our little formation wire here. Let's make sure
so
that's
one piece of stock wiring we're still using.
Yeah, the one piece.
Yeah,
that's right.
You said 4 FMs.
I do need 4 FMs.
And there you go, 4 FMs.
I don't know if anybody's noticed, by the way, too. In this model, there are 2 sizes of FM screws. There's short ones and there's long ones, and they don't tell you which is which. You'll notice it when you start looking through your pile of FM screws. I found that out when I was pulling the entire saucer apart to redo all the windows in resin, that they came in 2 different lengths, even though they're all marked FM. So something to keep in mind. These look like they are the shorter ones. Again, I'm not tightening these all the way. Just getting them started. So, is Buck on here? I know Eric's on here. Eric, you're still here, right?
I don't know how to tell who's here.
So Rascals, that's Eric.
Okay, hello.
I don't think you can see who's viewing. You can just see.
Live? No, yeah, you can't. You can tell where they're coming from, and they're all coming from your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel? Really?
Well, they're watching it on your, so 5
Get out of
viewers from MarvelPhx, 0 from the Facebook or the...
Hey, what do you know?
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to crank on these. I want these as tight as they can be. I do put my hand underneath. Don't want to mash anything on the top of the saucer. And we're going to go around the ring, every other screw. Sorry, I bumped the light. Probably moved my camera.
Earthquake, it's fine.
That's right. And I'm just going to start skipping screws and crank these down something fierce, I'd say.
Have we done the World War II Willys Jeep? The Peter
No. Eaglemoss did offer me that one. They asked me if I wanted to build it for them, and I said no, because it is it's too much green. It's just honestly, it's an okay model. My grandfather had one of those, Willys, and it's everything's green. It's just this big green blob of parts, and it wasn't that interesting to me. I couldn't get into it.
We forgot the 1 AM screw.
No, we did not forget it. That's at the end.
Oh, well, la-di-da.
I watch some people, they put these together with like electric screwdrivers, wow sticks, things like that. And I won't do that.
I like my wow stick, but not for anything that needs to.
Yeah. Not only does it is a lot of times not strong enough to tighten these all the way, is that I like to tell how much tension it's actually putting on the screw. And I can feel that in the screwdriver much more than just drilling it in with a wow stick. So anyway, this is an AM screw. This is just going to hold this little cap. It's over where they overlapped right here. It's going to hold these together.
Okay.
Now, what's next? I'm going to take a picture of this real quick.
Yeah, I would say take a photo.
Take a picture of this guy in. Okay.
All right. Next step is to
wiring. Nope. Skip.
Yeah, skip. All right. Filling a bank of battle section windows.
Are we done with the saucer? Well, for now we are.
For now.
So we'll move the saucer out of the way a little bit. Let me get the top of this part.
Top of the battle section.
This guy.
Yep.
Right. So this is the front of the star drive. Again, I have done all of these windows in resin. We can get up close in here. These are all done in resin. This is a perfect example of where to use that Tamiya 12mm curved tape.
Yeah.
I do little sections at a time. I run my fingernail down in the groove, through the tape to keep the resin from leaking into these grooves as much as possible. I don't know if I can get it at a good angle. It shows kind of the windows from the side, but.
And even that was a couple rounds of experimentation.
Yes, this was first done on the neck, and we learned a lot on the neck. We learned how to not burn the plastic, which we did on the neck, but that's okay. The inside of this is painted. The pattern I use is from the 4-foot model. This is the best match I could get from all the screenshots I had of the 4-foot model. Which windows are lit, which windows are dark. There's a lot of people that don't like the way these windows are lining up, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that these grid lines aren't exactly perfect. These grid lines should not be the same. Well, this is...
I know it's a different one, but there's this map that was built.
I have an image of this in a PNG file that I will put on this stage.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see how this layout, which layout I used. I did this for all 3 sections of the star drive. I did it for all the saucer sections, everything else.
And how did you do that?
I captured 350 screenshots from the TV show
Yeah.
of the 4-foot model.
Yeah.
And I'm going up to the 4-foot model. But in the long run, I don't really care that these are all out of whack. When this ship is lit, it's going to be in the dark. You're not going to be able to see so much that these are all out of whack. It's just going to look like a bunch of lights. The cruise ship that is the Enterprise D. This does not bother me. I don't care that these are whacked. I don't care. I think it's going to, you won't even notice it when you're looking at the big saucer and the blue, the warp engines and everything. You won't even notice this.
That was like some controversy on the group or something.
You got to remember, Star Trek fans are extremely loyal,
Yes.
and a lot of them are extremely. They pay a lot of attention. They follow the canon and things like that. But you can't do that with this model because this model has the smoothness of the 6-foot, the window layouts of a 4-foot. The 2-foot was not even usable as a model, so it was made for distance shots. So I'm going up to the 4-foot because I think it looks best on screen with all the panels. So
I agree.
All right, what are we doing?
Step D. Put the windows in it.
Oh, put the
For
windows.
us means
Yes. So let me grab my little. Where's my little box of stuff? Is it back here? Oh. So these are all the painted reflectors. I assume it's one of these pieces, right?
yeah, you're looking for 76B.
Well, they're not marked like that.
Okay.
It's probably kind of looks like this guy.
It says it has an L on it.
And then it's this guy. So what this is these used to be the panels. These are the panels that used to have the windows sticking up on them, and you can just barely see where we went in and we chopped all the windows off. Just used screw cutters, chopped all the windows off the front of it, and then sanded it and painted it white. The reason I do that versus just not using these panels is twofold. Once, when you get the reflectors, which were also soaked in alcohol and then painted white, so I took silver paint off with alcohol, letting them soak overnight, and then just a light coat of white paint, airbrush, is that these will double diffuse, right? So there'll be 2 layers of diffusion. Secondly, if you don't leave this in here, there's going to be a gap because the windows are now gone. There's going to be a gap between the reflector and the outside shell. There's a possibility when you do that of an edge of these windows getting past the reflector and just shining right. These are clear as glass, so you'll be able to see right inside the star drive. So I choose to use the window panel, just shave the windows off since the resin's in the holes already, and I just stack these on top of each other. But for the part that tells us the instructions, we're just popping the windows in, so there you go.
And
I'm not taking a picture of that because
it'll be secured with screws later on.
Is that the end of the stage?
That is the end of that stage.
All right, well, I guess I will take a picture of it then. Weirdo.
I know.
See, I reached out to Ben Robinson, and he did not answer me.
Ben.
Yeah, he's the director of this whole project.
Thanks, Ben.
And I want to talk to him about some things like this, like why you put something on that can easily fall off and getting stored. So anyway, next.
Stage 77.
Stage 77.
Deck panel L108.
Oh, I guess we're done with this.
Yeah, we are done with that.
Then I'll put
Literally
it.
just set it aside and keep it safe.
Yes.
Oh, more skate pod covers and yeah. So
What are we on? 70.
77.
77. I think we might get caught up tonight. That would be excellent.
How far do we have to go to get
82.
All right, let's see. All right, I'll do the trimming. Cutting and trimming.
All right, not gonna use the lights.
Yeah. Can I get this?
Not gonna use. These are the windows. Not using them either.
Extra screws.
Oh, I can go over here.
Can I get this? Oh, no,
This is all the things to hold the things in. We need this guy, and we need this guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we won't use the windows, and we won't use the wires, the lights. Just put that in our pile of stuff. Yeah, Eric. I followed the pattern from this 4-foot model to paint these black. I figure if I light it up with the diffusers behind it, you know, you get nice windows. The other side, without the diffuser, it's super bright. Blast through the flashlight, blast through the window. Diffused. So. All right.
Deeper. Is it a metal panel? Which was metal?
I didn't get the panel, did I?
No. You're looking for L108.
Oh, it's this guy. Okay, so it's worth noting on a few of these panels, and I have a drawing here somewhere. I'll have to find it. On some of these panels that are on the bottom of the saucer, instead of putting windows in, instead of making these little resin windows and painting them black, I need to create speaker holes because I've put speakers inside the saucer. I want to let the sound out of the saucer. So I've chosen a few windows, and these are 2 of them. What I did is I put 3 pieces. Show it up here. There's 3 pieces of, this is called harness tape or fabric tape. You typically see it on like the electrical harness in your car. It's just tape that's made of fabric, but it is acoustically transparent. So it's kind of like speaker grilled material, but it's sticky. So I layered 3 on top of it so it would stop light from coming through, but the sound comes through it perfectly fine. And it looks like dark windows.
We did test it.
We did test it. Does work.
Yeah. Held an iPhone up to it, like the speaker of the iPhone, and we did not notice a difference in the sound.
Yeah. So on the saucer that's already done, this panel that we're doing right now actually goes over here. Right. It's going to sit like this. This one has also got the tape, the speaker tape. This one's got the speaker tape. The 4 that are going to be right here will use speaker tape, and then I have a few around the back that are going to use speaker tape, just to let the sound from the speakers get out of the hull. So that was a plan ahead move. So that these windows are not windows, but tape. While you're working on that, I might as well put the little this dealy boppy in, which is going to be CPs. Put in the phaser strip. Well, that's another thing I did is you can dim the windows on this, right? So I designed it so all of the windows are on PWM circuits, so they can be dimmed, because I have a feeling that it's going to be really bright, and so you can dim the windows along with the nacelles. So the entire thing, you can kind of bring it down if it's going to be just too glaringly bright in a room, you know. I designed it for the ability to dim. So just put this phaser strip on. That looks good. Get our glue. It's still soft. Yeah, it is. I'll put some more on there though.
How many do you need?
Let's see, 6, 10.
How many?
2, 4, 6, 8.
All right, so you need all. You didn't give us any extras.
That's okay. I have a whole box of extras.
What if I slip? I wonder how they decide that.
What, like when they give you extras?
Yeah,
or
when
not?
they're going to give you extras.
I don't know.
Like with the screws, sometimes they give you extras.
Well, it depends. Like sometimes with the screws, you get 1 or 2, but the
Yeah.
more screws you have, the more chance you have to get 2 spare screws.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what logic they say when you get to 5 screws, you can have 2 spares. What do you think? Should we put a poll out there?
Someone is saying hello.
Who's saying hello?
Buckman's Mamamania.
That's Buck.
That's Buck.
That is Buck. Hi, Buck. He must have finished dinner because he said he was going to step away to have dinner earlier. And now it's vice versa. He gets to sit in his underwear watching me on a stream instead of me sitting in my underwear watching him on a stream. So push these in, make sure they stick up a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to need the picture because these go on here like a funky way. Yeah. There's one that goes there, and then I think this one goes here. Yeah, that's about right.
Yep,
a bunch
that
of
looks
AM
right
screws.
so far. And then, yeah, just a bunch of AMs.
Okay.
I think you need 7 AMs.
Yeah, I just want to get these held in. Well, what I'm more worried about is not whether Buck is in his underwear, if he's in his Goofy underwear. He does love his Goofy.
Like the cartoon character?
Yes.
Or, oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good. I now know a lot about Buck's.
You know a lot about Buck.
Buck's boxers.
Yep. Oh, Buck will like this too. Buck knows that I had some issues with my Iron Man build because Van Helm keeps sending me issues 38 and 35 to 38 over again. They've sent them to me 3 times now saying it's 39 to 42, but it's not. I got an email from them saying, oops, we found a problem that keeps sending these out. Well, somebody posted on my build site for the Iron Man armor, basically saying they keep sending him 39 to 42. And I said, we should trade.
Nice.
I'll give him one of my 35 38s if he sends me his 39 and 42. I've not heard back yet.
Oh, that'd be great.
So anyway, those are 2 mounted in. So now let's do the bottom ones. You want to do the bottom ones?
No, I don't like glue.
Okay.
It's too permanent. I don't want to mess something up. I know. I'm more of a solder person, which is also permanent, but
not as permanent.
Exactly, because I can undo solder.
Yeah. That's ironic because I don't mind gluing, and I just don't like soldering.
Oh, I love soldering. That's my jam.
I don't mind soldering.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Pop them in.
These in. Make sure the little red lines are facing the right way.
Remember when we got that one that was printed upside down? That was fun. Oh man.
Again, we'll tilt them in from the side.
Black pieces come to go.
What black pieces? Oh, yes. That's why I don't have tape in these bottom ones. You kind of think that they should have used these on top, huh? Like maybe, I don't know. We've thought about it later on. Partworks, you have to remember, Eaglemoss does not build. They do not have all of these, the entire model produced from stages 1 to 100 in the beginning. Nobody does. Nobody does production like that. Not when they're in parts. It's called just-in-time manufacturing, JIT. They might make the first 10 issues or 12 issues and have those built, and they'll have, I don't know, based on their test, they make 500 of them. And then as people start building through it, and they see how many people stay with the build, some people are going to quit and stop, and other people are going to keep going. They'll order the next batch, hopefully in advance, with plenty of time to ship them out. With COVID and everything, that has screwed all of that up. They now are way behind, and I'm sure they're factory AMs, right?
Yeah, AMs.
The factories are screwed up. They're closing. They have shipping problems. They have trucking problems. Logistics are a nightmare right now. And my guess is since these are probably considered models or toys, that when they have to prioritize traffic at the ports, medicine, cars, they all get priority. Like this stuff just sits on a boat and stuck somewhere. So I give them a little bit of relief on that. We're not paying for parts that we don't get. I'm sure they would be happy to ship parts if they had them because they don't make money until they ship it. So I'm sure it affects everybody, but I can wait. I'm not getting charged while I wait. make the build take longer. It teaches me patience, and I could always use more patience. As for these covers, they actually block the light really well, Buck. They hold this stuff in really well. So I haven't had to use any electrical tape or anything on this outer row of panels. I just make sure these are nice and tight. These panels, because they are going into metal, so I can make sure they're nice and tight without breaking the plastic.
Yeah. Oh look, we get to screw the.
What do we get to do?
Remember the windows we just sort of dropped in place?
Yeah.
That's the next thing we get to do.
So I'll make sure these panels push through. So these raised up a little bit. That looks pretty good. That's pretty good. And that's it. We just built it, and that's all we're doing. We don't actually put it on. Oh, okay.
Well, hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
No,
7.
we don't. Not yet.
What are the BP screwed for? Oh, is that for the shell?
Yeah, you need a bunch of BPs to attach
All
what
so
were windows.
Put the glue away. I am going to take a picture of this.
Yes.
I use a little secrets of the trade here. A little stand on the back. Take a picture of that for the site. Okay.
All right. Step
This
C. Take the battle section panel lights and slot bulbs. Nope. Battle section front panel assembly. Yeah. So
No,
grab that.
wait. What about this?
That's for the lights.
Oh, we're not doing that.
We're not doing lights. Yeah.
Okay. We're
So
skipping
we're
that.
skipping step B.
All right. So we're back to this.
Back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to just take 5 BPs and attach it.
You mean put the reflector on it?
Yes. Technically, it's doesn't.
It is. It's the reflector. It's this thing.
Oh yeah.
So this fits over top of it.
There you go.
We're not putting any LEDs in it. We're just putting in a bunch of BPs. Well, you can screw that to your heart's content. We'll let you do some screwing. How many is it? 5?
5. Thank
There
you.
you go. 5. See, they gave us 2 extra screws for 5. So, and building 2 of these, I'm gonna have a pile of screws from, forever. Just see how many screws I have left from like the DeLorean.
Yeah.
Oh, so many
Which
screws.
have come in handy.
Mm.
I think there's a couple DeLorean screws floating around this build.
Who's this? Who says that?
Your mat is too clean for the amount of builds. Oh.
What is this? Goofy heads downstairs. The black pieces come to build. Yes, I answered that. EM does that with almost every build. Yep, extra screws. I can't buy the COVID excuse. They had the same issues with the DeLorean in 2018. What's interesting about the DeLorean is I had a delay that lasted about 3 months in the middle of the DeLorean. Now, the DeLorean was my first part work. And it had a delay of like 3 months. I can't remember what for. I also had the issue, I think, with 74 with the door. And I started ordering parts from Japan and from other people on the forums. And I was able to get all of the parts I needed to finish the model. So I went through and went ahead and finished the model. Ironically, while I was finishing the model, Eaglemoss started shipping again, and I got all the parts from Eaglemoss. So I had lots of duplicates. I still have them. I should sell them. And from when I started the Eaglemoss deliveries for the DeLorean to when I got the very last issue 130, 159 or whatever it was, when I got the very last issue was exactly 2 years. So now I was getting shipments every 2 weeks. I did ask them to speed it up, but in the end, even with all their delays, they still shipped me the model in 2 years. So, it's okay.
All right. Panel attached with
Yep.
the reflector and the whole deal.
Perfect. I will take a picture of that since that's the
Yes.
end of, what is that, 70?
So it was 77. Yeah, that's 77.
Now I've built the 300 SL. I've built the GTR. Those are done. The Terminator is done. The DB5 is done. The Dodge Charger is done. The R2D2 is done. And all of those, honestly, not one of them did I ever get stuck with them canceling a build. I have seen it. Like the GTR and the DB5, I think or the 300 SL, they canceled after a few months in the UK. But I've gotten all my parts eventually, one way or another. So that was 77.
That was 77.
All right,
Now we're on 78.
I see lots of windows.
Yep.
And I see lots of lights that we're not going to use.
Don't need any of that stuff.
It makes these stages go by so quick.
Yeah.
Now, for those that don't know, I because I'm building 2 of these, the other one I'm building stock. So I will be building the stock one with all of these lights and all of the connectors and how it all goes together in the normal way. And I will have new pictures. I do that on a different background. And Buck, if you need to know for your benefit, I have another one of these mats that I do my dirty work on that is covered in paint and glue and other stuff. It's the exact same color, and it looks like, you know, the bottom of a garbage can. But I do not do like airbrushing and stuff on the nice mats. All right, don't need these, don't need windows, don't need wires, don't need wires. Wow.
Just
all right,
screws.
So that's all that's left in this issue is some screws, but it's probably some panels I have.
Yeah, we got to grab L208.
What does it look like?
Which is a ton of windows, slim strip.
And it's probably this panel, which is that L208? Yes. So this one's done. Again, resin windows, nice resin windows, painted on the back, done in advance. Okay.
Okay. Let's grab the 2 reflectors. Oh, actually, here. Technically, we're supposed to start with.
Oh, so you're getting ahead of yourself.
I am getting ahead of myself.
When you start with this guy, and probably put the windows on the other side, right?
Line up battle section window right with the battle section front panel. Carefully press into position. This will be secured later with screws.
Done.
For now, side to side. Again, why don't you just have it put somewhere?
Why isn't it just one piece of plastic?
Put the reflector on now and just go.
I don't know. Why they could. I don't know if it has to do with the number of parts they put in a bag or what.
Hey.
But I mean, here, would that have been that hard? Put both parts in the same bag and we could screw it down? But
not yet.
Not
getting ahead of yourself.
Not yet. So we'll just put that off to the side. We are going to need this one. So these are stamped on the back to match. So it's L208 and L208A1, right? Or
A and A1.
So those have also been stripped of paint and painted white, just like all of the plastic windows. So I paint the backs white. This is the side that faces the window. So I paint this. I paint the side that faces the window. So it's as close as possible to the resin windows. I love how you're lighting your work. What camera lights are you using? So I have 2 huge softbox lights. There's one to the left and one to the right. They have 6K corncob LED. I think they're about 20,000 lumen, and they're still dark. They're still too dark, by the way. For my photos, I have to always lighten my photos about 2 stops because I shoot with a 1/250th of a second shutter to keep away from motion blur, even with a stabilized lens, because I hand shoot everything. I don't use a tripod. It takes too long to set up all the shots. So I have a big softbox, like a 36-inch softbox here and a 36-inch softbox here, and they have really big corncob lights.
Basically, it looks like that.
What did you do? Did you just color my face? I've been on camera. You don't have to do that.
I don't know. Protect your privacy. So yeah, 2 giant soft lights.
If you want, at the end I can yank the camera off the top here, and I can show you around the studio if you want to see what the room looks like.
Oh yeah, show off all this.
I can. You guys can see what this part of the man cave looks like. Yes. So anyway, we don't do anything except put these panels on. It looks like this one goes kind of here. That got some goo in it. So let's get that out of there. It's got some stuff in the hole. Flashing. Open that up.
I think the only issue we've had with this setup so far is the focus. But that feels like the most common issue on the internet.
Nah, it's in clear.
Yeah, everyone has.
Camera's not really made for it. That kind of stuff. All right, so we'll put this guy on here. No LEDs needed.
Nope. And you just need 8 BPs.
There you go.
All right, fine.
Yeah, no, the light. And what I did is I bought the C922, the camera, and it just showed up this morning. So lucky us. And then I bought a like a flexible arm, you know, like an adjustable arm piece that I clamped onto the top of the softbox lights, and so it actually is mounted to the lights, not the table. And so I don't touch the lights, I don't hit the lights very often, so that way I can sit here and wobble the table, and it doesn't make the camera move.
Thanks.
You're welcome. This is earthquake.
Yeah, earthquake.
Earthquake.
The old Arizona earthquake.
Let's see, we're on, what are we on, 79?
I think 78.
But thank you, Buck. Yeah, I needed to have even light. These are matched to 6K, so I can use the color correction in the camera and my Photoshop to fix the colors. So the colors are really good. They're 6K lights, so I have daytime. So it's basically daylight white. It's the same color as the LED strip in the Enterprise.
Yep.
Yeah, they're by that cheap company on Amazon. It's I don't know what it's called.
Probably
It's like Weezer, something like that. Hang on, I have the. Let me see. Newer, Newer. I think the whole setup was $40. I think it gives you 2 stands, 2 big soft boxes. I've replaced the bulbs in them a few times to try different things. They come with CFLs, but I don't like the CFLs because they flicker. And I got these corncob. I've gone through a bunch of different bulb lights. I went to LED because they run a lot cooler, so it keeps this room from getting too hot. I'm in Phoenix; it's stupid hot here. But I have big corncob LEDs. I can throw them in the Facebook or the Discord or something. I'll find a link to them. The corncob lights that I have that are in here now. All right, so this is done.
Yep.
Right. I don't take pictures. I'll take a picture right now.
Yeah, sure.
It can't hurt. I'd rather have a picture than not have a picture.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Next, take your deck panel assembly and thread its deck panel lights to the skeleton. Plug it into the blah blah.
Skip all the wiring.
Basically, take that other panel, make them go together. Oh, we might have to loosen those.
Yeah. So when you do these 2 panels, this lip right here has to go under here. And sometimes we found that you have to loosen the reflectors sometimes to get this to fit. Sometimes you can kind of wedge it in there. It doesn't feel like it's going to go.
Put those on
so we'll loosen these up. And other times I've seen where they don't sit all the way flat, and we've actually had to file this plastic, the reflector plastic, down just a little bit so these screws would sit flush.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we will loosen these top reflector panels up just a tad.
It's like what we were talking about earlier. If you're willing to spend just a little bit of time, sometimes doing some tweaking, you can get the panels to fit pretty well.
Yeah. And that way, this will slide under there like that.
There you go.
Right? Now that these are nice and tight, I'll go ahead and screw these back tight. Can you do that for me?
Yep.
I'm going to tighten that. I'm going to keep these tight to each other.
Okay.
And that should hold these panels together.
How's the gap?
Look at it. Looks good.
Okay.
It's real good.
Carefully turn the assembly over, align it with blah blah, press it into the tabs.
Put it on the saucer.
Yeah, install.
Okay.
Tab A slot.
So we'll pull the saucer over here again.
And then that's the end of this book.
Oh, yay. What book is that?
20.
Oh, we're going to get on to 21. The UK doesn't even have stuff stage 21 yet.
Take that.
Poor guys. I don't think the US has ever been in front of the UK. So this is just going to slide in here like this. Your tabs go underneath, and it will lock into place.
Maybe.
That doesn't want to fit right there.
It really doesn't.
What is going on there? Is that a tab thing, or is that a... There it goes. Click.
That's a good click.
This I know is going to leak light like a sieve. So we're going to have to use some putty along this edge here. I just wanted to check the fitment.
Like.
Oh yeah, we can hook it up.
So here's what it looks like with no putty or solutions.
We'll turn the lights on.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
Ah! No, hang on. I'm going to need the lights again.
Alexa, turn on the studio.
I just want to jam 5 volts into my electronics at any point I want. Oh my God. Okay.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
Now I don't know if the camera's going to show this, but oh Lord. Right along these tabs, there's lights right here that are sticking through. So I'm just going to...
Alexa, turn on the studio.
It's hard to do it with 2 hands.
Alexa, turn on the studio. There.
So what we'll do is we'll pop this off. And just like I did on the other side, is I'm just going to slide this out of the way, a little bit of that Pro Power tack.
Ooh, tack Pro Power.
Yeah, that stuff.
Which does not, it sounds like a fake name.
And all I do is make little hot dogs out of it.
It's German, so there might be...
A Wiener? A schnitzel?
Wiener schnitzels.
Yes. And then where the tabs are, there's 2 tabs right here and right here. And all I do is take this We could paint the end of that black too.
Yeah, we probably should. Save us the trouble of having to do it.
Yeah, this helps. We found that this helps too. I have some acrylic marking pens. Yeah. So basically, this is just acrylic paint and a pen in black. And what I'll do is a lot of the light comes from the side of this reflector. And so what I do is I just paint the side of the reflector black. You can do that with paintbrush and paint, but I have these pens, so I just use them. Got a whole set of these, like 64 different colors. That's also the gray that I used. I have another one that's in gray, the dark gray that I used to fill the rear torpedo housing opening. And I just paint the edge of this, just the side edge, just black, because this is where a lot of the light is coming from. It's coming up through this reflector and bleeding through the side. So I just try to, this will help with the light leak. Just paint this in, not on the outside of the panel. We're just doing the side of this white reflector. Just trying to put a good coat of black paint on it. And it's easier than whipping out a brush and cleaning the brush and everything. I just use these pens. So do that. I'm going to take that off camera and put it in front of my little fan in here, so it'll dry that pretty quick. And then we'll put this little ball of here. Yeah, I can't remember the wattage of my little corncob lights. I can't. Let me see if I can see them from here. They're 60 watt. Oh my God, don't look at them. They're really bright. I just pulled open my softbox to see what they were. So they're 60 watt corncob LED lights in 6K match color. That way they're pretty much, they professionally match them to make sure they're actually 6Ks. If you go too much hotter than that, like 100 watt or even bigger, you have to be careful that the heat from the bulb doesn't hurt the fabric of the softbox. And so I went to a 60 watt. It puts out a good amount of light, and the box doesn't get very hot because you don't want to hurt the fabric of the softbox. All right, so I'm sure that paint's dry. It dries really fast. So we're just going to take this, and all I do is I just stick it right along the bottom of the edge of this, and I will show you in a close-up, hopefully, here in a second, a little bit more. And all I want to do is I want to create something underneath this entire seam, so the light can't come up through it. This is much easier to do on the upper saucer panels because you can get to them, but because we can't get inside this once it's mounted, we have to do it a special different way. So I just take this and I stick it under here. We're going to stop it at right here. Just take a little piece of that off. And what I check for, and hopefully this will focus. Let's see if this will focus. I'm going to have you watch and tell me if this is in focus.
It is. Oh, not anymore.
That wasn't in focus?
It wasn't focused for a second.
Boo!
There you go. You're in focus.
Okay. So let me grab my little tweezers here. I want the putty to be underneath these tabs, but not where the other tabs are going to go through, which is in here. I got to keep these grooves clear for the tabs from the other side of the panel on the other side. So I want this putty to be basically sticking over the edge between the panels. So from above, you can see the putty, right? I just wanted to do something like this. Oh. Go around the tabs. And I think this one I can pull out a little bit, but I want to make sure that this groove stays open. So the tabs from the panel next to it have some place to go. If you were to get it up in here, or you get it on these ledges on top of the tabs, and you try to squeeze these panels together, it'll squeeze this blue tack either up to the panel, or it'll keep you from getting the panels touching each other. And you know what? I'll probably put a little bit around these tabs too. And those are a little easier. Yes, it is basically just blue tack, but in gray. I have blue tack as well. It's called Uhu Pro Power in black. Amazon ran out of it. I just got it so just in case it were to squeeze up through a panel, that it would not be blue on the ship. That would be gray and would make my mistakes look a lot less meaningful. So these ones, you don't have to worry about this as much. You do have to make sure that the tabs are clear. Again, you want this ledge, not the outside ledge, but this undersized recessed ledge. You want that clear so the plates from this side will be able to slide in there. And so I just kind of pull that away to make a groove for the plates. Just like that. But you can see from above that it's sticking out and blocking the light from around that. Now, you have to be careful. This is going to touch, see, like this screw mount here? This slot is right there. So sometimes you have to take like this little piece here, and I just kind of fold it back, just so that has some place to go. I just don't want a way for the light to come up through around these tabs, because that's where most of the light leaks. Pull this down here. All right, so let's try it again. Now, I'm just going to slide that in, line up all the tabs, just like that. Now, when this is seated all the way, these little tabs will line up on these posts, just like that. And if we want, we can even get a real quick test, and we'll hook it back up to the lights. We'll put the power back on. Go ahead.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
Look at that. No leak. It's nice and dark.
Alexa, turn on the studio.
All right. Put in some FM screws.
Yep.
Go ahead. I did the hard part. I'll let you do the screwing. Yeah, the biggest thing you can do with the leaks is make sure you don't have any wire, especially since you're using the stock wiring. Just make sure you don't have any wires trapped. A lot of times it's because there's pieces where the LEDs come up through the panels, or they get pinched between the skeletons or things like that. Feel free to route the wires of the LEDs anywhere you want, even at the very edge. You know, people are like, oh, if you run LEDs right here through this outer ring, and his wrist is in the ray, but this part of the skeleton, if you run wires up to from here into the skeleton, this part's going to would clamp it, right? When you put the lower skeleton on, it would pinch these wires. But there's actually, and let me show you, there's actually a gap here. And I don't know if the camera's going to show it, but there is a gap between these skeletons that you can actually get wires through all day long. It's probably a good, almost 1/8 of an inch. And that's all the way around. So there's plenty of room to run the wires from this edge of the skeleton, or this ring of the skeleton, in through between the skeleton halves of the upper and lower. So there's plenty of room. Don't anybody be worried about it. If you run the wires the easiest way possible, if you have to bend them or run them through, I fit them when I was still doing the wiring on this in the Eaglemoss way. There was notches in the plastic reflectors or in the skeleton where it looked like the wires should have gone, and so that's where I routed them, and I didn't have any problems. I just got sick of wiring, and I wanted all the extra features. All right, so that's done. I can take a picture of that now, right?
Yep, take a picture.
That panel is done. All right, what's next?
79.
That was the whole thing?
That was the whole thing.
Wow, we're just trucking right along.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is going to be another outer panel.
Yep. I'll do the cutting and trimming of the top of the doors.
So I like to hold that up, make sure there's nothing in it. I don't want to lose any clear parts. You want to trade, or you want me to do the gluing, don't you?
You can do the gluing, I'll do the trimming and the cutting.
Don't need the light. We're going to need this, this, and this. We don't need this cover right away. Again, I don't do that cover until the very end. So let's put that away right now so I don't lose it. You know, honestly, Buck, the stock one that's under the table here, I bet you for 99, 98% of it, I did follow the Eaglemoss instructions when it came to where to route the wires. I did make a few adjustments here and there, but for the most part, I followed the instructions. Strangely, it works. It just doesn't, you really have to move the wires around to get them out of the way of the skeleton and stuff. But you can make it work. It's not ideal, but to me, I think they should have just lit this thing this way. But whatever reason, they wanted 17 million LEDs. Honestly, I think they were worried that if they did this kind of lighting, I think the whole reason they did the way they're doing it is so the lighting would be between the skeleton and the windows, so the skeleton wouldn't show. But because the way I'm lighting, because I'm bouncing the light around inside the ship, I don't see the skeleton anyway. So it is possible. All right, so grab my little toothpick, clean out these holes. Actually, looks pretty good. Sorry for the coughing. I had COVID last week, so. Afterwards. Well, you're cutting that. I will do this. Just pull this out. So he's cutting those tabs off of the escape pod covers or lifeboats. I am putting on the rim edge on this panel. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to have to seal this panel too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See the light leaks? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can see it. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but you can see it sneaking through right there. So I'm going to put a little bit of stuff in here. I thought I was going to be able to just have a pile of this stuff, and then Amazon ran out of stock, and I haven't seen it anyplace else. All that in there. A nice little piece of it. Line that up right there. Tool and smash it down. These are plastic pottery. These are plastic pottery tools, the clay tools, and there's a whole bunch of them in different shapes and sizes that I got in this box for like $4. They have all sorts of little balls and scrapers and pointy ends, but I find myself using a whopping 2 of them for pretty much all of the pushing of this putty around. And all I'm really doing is I just want it to seal those holes. There's my other one. Sit it down somewhere and then I can't find it. I always do that. Now again, when I do the putty on these, I don't want any putty in this outer groove, this top groove right here. I don't want any putty in there. That's where the upper deck panels from the upper saucer are going to latch into this. So I don't want any in there. But other than that, I do like to have a little, sometimes I'll have a little go out past the end, hopefully to seal if there's any light leaks coming in through the edge of the rim. So sometimes I'll let it hang over just a tiny bit. And again, don't have any go in these edge grooves. So the side grooves of the panel, this recessed groove right here, you don't want any putty in there either. So I get it very close to it, but not in there. So just like that, do the light check real quick. No light, no light, no light, no light. All right. I assume that this is eventually just going to go there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can have that.
Start popping windows in.
Oh, I got it.
They are all trimmed.
A little glue trick. A little more glue. What is it? Oh. Go to your channel and set the age limit, or the live stream won't show your channel. I just took care of it on the HTM YouTube. My channel already defaults to not safe for children, so hopefully it will show up, right? Or no? I think my entire channel is set to not safe for children, so I would think it would show up, right? He's going to YouTube right now, so I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, it's showing up there.
Yeah, that's my channel.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I have a channel. And somehow I end up, people keep subscribing to it. I think that's crazy. All it is, all I had before this was just videos of like the mod, you know, like the videos we were taking, you and I.
Yeah. Oh, like showing the progress.
Showing how the progress,
and,
yeah. Which at the end of this, and in like the next, what, I think 3 packs?
Yeah.
Hopefully in the next maybe half hour, I'm guessing.
I hope so. It's like 7 o'clock.
Yeah. In the next half hour, we will hook all this up and see how the wireless works, if it works at all. My first live stream, how crazy. It's just crazy to me. I always said I wouldn't do it too. I'll give this a good squeeze. So these, again, stick out of the hull just a little bit. There we go. And then let's go to the bottom row. Hey Buck, how's the volume? Like, is it coming through okay? Because I'm using the camera, which is above my head a little bit here, as the mic. I'm not using my Bluetooth headphones. So I'm curious on how this camera works when it comes to the audio. If it's coming through okay. I also have a fan in here because this room can get warm. So I don't know if it's, I just want to make sure the audio, because you know, video with bad audio is terrible.
Pop my headphones and tune in real quick.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That way I can do check.
Oh, he says great.
Nice.
I hope he's answering my question and not something else. Yeah, so I brought my laptop in here. I have a little laptop stand now. I'm not using my iPad anymore. You'll think that I've matured and graduated from college now, you know, out of high school. Not using my iPad as the camera anymore. So I have my laptop in here and a dedicated camera, and I needed to do that because for the Blink app, I wanted to show it on the iPad because it does work on Android and iOS, which my LCARS app does not. Anyway, so those look pretty good. So I think these are AMs, right? Done gluing. There. Sounds good?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, so that panel's done. Done with the AM screws. We're gonna need the FMs. I don't know what are these VPs and DPs for? We have more to do?
Yes.
And are we putting this panel on? That's my question to you. Because if we are, we're gonna need some tape, aluminum tape.
Yeah.
We are mounting it?
Yes. Yep, we are.
All right, so grab another little piece of aluminum tape.
Oh, we're actually going to be mounting that to the...
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Here, pull that off.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can do it faster than I can.
Let's see. Ultimate test. Yep.
Show off.
I know. All right. And again, this is aluminum tape.
Yes, it is
Which is-
it is metal tape. It's
Yeah.
literally pieces of metal,
Sticky stuff.
and it is extremely sticky, which is good because I don't want this. I think if I was gonna, a lot of people use electrical tape or something inside for light blocking, like the upper saucer. I would recommend this stuff for sure. This stuff is never gonna, electrical tape over time has a tendency to degrade and doesn't want to stick as well. This stuff will never do that. This stuff will stay there forever.
Yeah, it's made for like sealing air conditioning ducts.
That is correct.
So,
It's more appropriately duct tape than duct tape is.
Yeah.
So we'll just get that stuck under there pretty good on the edge. Then we fold it down just enough to expose. This also, this piece here also has a ledge. I want this ledge, there's a ledge along the bottom of this panel, and I want that to be exposed. So we're going to pull that back down so that ledge is visible. And then I'd like to make sure this isn't going to get caught. So I kind of tuck this in here. Something like that. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just got to steal the light. Just like that. Then I'll take a picture of that. And then make sure you grab this panel. When I put these outer panels on, I like to push up on this panel because this has to hook, again, the upper saucer panel. And then we just take this panel and slide it in here. I'm pushing up and in. Just like that.
and then 2 FMs.
Give it a nice squeeze. Try to get it as nice and tight. There we go. All right. And then
2 FMs.
FM. Yeah. I started using it basically when I started doing the nacelles, and you can see all around the upper saucer, and here is all aluminum taped all the way around to help reflect the light down into this row of lower lights. I also have it behind this panel to reflect light because the LEDs had to come in. There's a gap right here where the LED strip had to come in, so that helps reflect light back to the top. And then for light blocking, it's fantastic. It really is. Give this a nice squeeze. Where's Donnie? Is Donnie here? Donnie's supposed to, he's like the guy that wants to watch the Enterprise. And since this is a pop-up stream, since we just happen to be working on it, and we had this Hobby Time modeler thing to try out, here we go. How's that look?
Looks good. This feels higher than that. But I think I saw it. Let's see how I think it's rubbing up against it.
Yeah? All right, well, watch this. We can take that off and we'll fix it. It does look like there's some flashing, some extra paint flashing on this tab here. So we're just going to pull these screws out, pop this off, check it. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you, let's see if I can get it to focus. So right here, you can see where it started to pull up on the tape or on the paint, and you can see the metal. You can see the shiny metal. I don't know if is that showing?
Oh,
yeah. So it's obviously that this tab is hitting right here on the skeleton. So we're going to fix that because this is not visible. I'm just going to take a file, little needle file, and we're just going to sand this off. Just sand this down a little. I'm gonna reset our tape so it's up a little bit, just so it'll stick to this panel we're gonna put in. So like that. And this was hitting right there. So the other thing I like to do is take my X-Acto knife and scrape off this paint that's down inside this hole where it was trying to hit. Because it's usually paint or flashing. It's going to be one of the two that's causing me trouble. So then I'm going to try this again. Pop this on. How's that? Still hitting high?
That's better.
Let me get the screw in it. Let's
Yeah.
see if the screw will pull it down.
But even just like that, it's already better. Yeah.
Good?
It was pretty rough before.
Forgot a screw.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Well, you got extras.
Good thing I have a spare FM right here.
Oil.
Yeah, I mean, of course, now it's not going to come out. Jerky screw. Oh, it's going to go in the old-fashioned way.
There you go.
Okay. That's tight, that's tight, that's tight, and we're good. So that is that the end of that stage, or we got more? Or we have to do the...
No, there's still 2 more steps. Retrieve your front, this thing.
Okay. You want to see how this looks?
Goes it? Yep.
Put it on the camera.
Going. Yeah, there you go.
So we'll set this on its back and... Look good?
Yeah.
Does it look like the front of the Enterprise?
It definitely looks like the front of the Enterprise.
All right. Alrighty, so we're back to this thing.
Correct. 5 BP screws.
Oh, we're putting this on the skeleton.
Yes, but first we have to secure this.
Oh,
We haven't done that yet.
We don't need that yet.
Not well. Yeah, that's the next step.
Oh, there you go. It's already on there.
Perfect. Oh yeah, we put it on there. Come on, bag. Not again. There we go.
Well, see, Donnie's missing out. Maybe we should delete this stream after we're done, so he can't watch it. That's what he gets. One of the people who watched it live get the access, you know. Oh, we should have checked that for light leaks.
Yeah, we should do that right now, actually.
How long have we been streaming for?
Almost 2 hours.
No, just over 2 hours. Look at us go.
There we go. All right. Check for light leaks.
Yeah, we'll do that real quick. I'll power her up again. See if I can get my hand out of the way. Make sure the positive and negative are in the right place.
Alexa, turn off. Wait, what's this thing called again?
The studio?
Oh my goodness.
You're
It's been a long
fired.
day.
You're fired.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
Beautiful. Looks good.
Alexa, turn on the studio.
All right.
Okay, so retrieve your battle section upper bracket and combine it with the battle section front panel. Put in the cables through the structure, which we don't worry about.
I need to take a picture of this, don't I?
Yep, take a picture of that. I just put that left on.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's going to take 5 DP screws.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Now load me up.
Yep. There you
Started.
go.
Started. Where's the last ones go? Back here, I assume?
Yeah.
It is.
And then one in the middle. That's why it's an
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can take a picture of that.
Make sure it looks good. Looks good. So we had the idea, if you remember the deflector dish from like stage 1 or 2, we had the idea of taking the deflector dish, pulling those white LEDs out of it, putting blue LEDs, which I have. So the stock LEDs are considered 2x3 by 4 millimeter rectangular LEDs. You can find them on eBay, as I did. And I bought red, green, blue, orange, warm white. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Because like this is warm white. It's
Yep.
not bright white. It's warm white, so it won't be the same color as the windows.
Yep.
All of my formation lights are kind of a warm white. So that's on there.
Yep. And then take a picture when ready.
So we'll take a picture of that. And I'll show you my little stand that I made. Okay, that's done. Is that the whole issue?
That's the whole issue. That and we put this. So
All right.
both of those.
So what I'll do is I'll take a nice little combo picture here. Maybe like that. A little combo picture. Okay, what's next?
Issue 80, or yeah, step 80, whatever. Stage 80.
Trucking right along. I don't know what that was. Nothing else in there. All right, we need these. I need these. That will store. This we need. Screws. Our little screw cover. I'm gonna put that in storage right now, so don't lose it. You got to be kidding me!
What?
What? Hey, Buck. Is this? So I hit my softbox with my screw container. I hit my softbox, and something flew out of the edge of the fabric cover. I have fabric covers. There's fabric covers on the edge of these softboxes. And I hit the edge of it with my box, and guess what flew out of it, Buck? I've been looking for this all over my entire room for a week. This is the 3.5x magnifier for my close-up glasses, and it was stuck in the edge of my softbox. I would have never looked there, ever, ever, ever. How in the world it got in there, I have no idea, but here it is.
Wow.
That's really weird.
Like, wait, here? Like in here?
It was literally stuck in here.
Nice.
I would have never found that,
No.
ever. Okay.
Happy accident.
That's kind of funny. All right, so he's clipping the. He's laughing because they know I've been looking for that thing for like a week. I actually bought another one.
Nice.
Because they're cheap, but I bought another one. So, all right. So again, taking a toothpick to clean out any flashing around the holes, any overspray paint, because the toothpick won't harm that paint very much. All right. He's chopping those. While you're doing that, I will put the edge on. It's going to be IM screws. Can't believe that thing was hiding in there.
That's really weird. I wonder if there's anything else hiding in there.
Well, because I remember I was doing something and I moved my head and I caught because I was wearing the magnifiers.
Yeah.
And I caught my face probably on the light, and everything I had in my hands went flying. Everything that was, you know, on my head went flying. My headset, everything went flying.
Yeah.
And when I picked up the magnifiers, the lens was gone. And I looked all over the floor, and I thought, oh, it's clear. I'll never find it. And I searched this whole room. I picked up everything. I picked up my backdrop. I did everything I could possibly think of to try to find that stupid thing.
Yeah.
And it was hiding inside the edge of my softbox. So, who would have guessed?
It seems highly unlikely.
Is this the last of this stuff, or we have any more?
That's the last.
Don't tell me that. There's another little piece.
There might be one square left. There's that much left.
Oh, wait, lots. I can make that last forever.
There you go.
All right, again, put the rim on, and I'm going to seal for light leaks at the very bottom of the rim. So I'm just going to take some wads of this stuff, my Pro Power Tack, and just cut pieces of this off. We're going to stick it in all 3 spots. You're right, Buck. He's like, oh, it'll just show up one day. And you're right. And if I hadn't smashed my light box with my tool kit or my screw case, I would have never found that. But here we are. It's all because of Buck. It's because he says, well, you should stream. And I'm like, I don't stream. I'm not a streamer. And here we are, streaming. I blame him completely.
Me too.
It's all Buck's fault. I don't think we're going to get to the stock Enterprise tonight. I think I think getting this to 82 and hooking it up is about as far as we're going to get.
Pumpkin soon.
Yeah. I'm happy to get this far.
Oh yeah.
I think that was great. I'm glad we got the formation lights in the rear torpedo launcher in. That's excellent. I think that'll look good. Check for light leaks. Nothing. All right. How's our glue doing? We'll get a little more. Big glob on there.
Yeah.
So some people use a lighter to burn that off.
Glue glob?
Yeah.
I don't want to breathe that.
No, but it really stinks. So
Yeah.
I will usually just take what you're holding on to.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
off camera,
done.
I will grab it and pop it off with my
Here you
needle nose. Just pop that little ball off. Just chop it off. All right. Put some glue in the holes here. Some people put glue on these, some people don't. I like to glue in the hatch covers, only because I was paranoid when I first started building this that they only stuck in with friction on most of the panels. And knowing my luck, I would push one of them inside the ship and never find it again. So I personally like to put a little glue on these panels. Oh, you know what, Buck? I still need to send you those transfers, don't I? I didn't do that yet. I have the Mike Lane transfers, and I'm not going to use them. The little labels, the little decals that go on all these.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use them. So I told Buck he can have them.
Cool.
But you have to use them, Buck.
What was that?
So those are now in place. So now we'll do the bottom row. did you say? Oh, talking about how long the stream was?
Yeah.
What happened? Did you just run out of steam? You don't like modeling? His bedtime. It was his bedtime. The dogs were barking. The wife was barking. I don't know. You got tired? Buck needs his beauty sleep, you know? Super tight fit. I will on a stream and Donna will watch. No rush. I have to rebuild my saucer. Oh, yes. I will watch you rebuild your saucer. I'll even help you if you want. AMs?
Yep, 2 AMs.
Okay. It's decent enough. And then dump the blue. What are we on? Are we on 81, you said?
We are on 80 right now.
We're on 80.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 more after this.
Yep. Yeah, I still have to run the Home Depot.
Oh.
I know.
The Home Depot?
Yeah. And then I gotta take it out. And then I can go to sleep.
All right. Is this the end or are we putting this on?
We will be putting it on.
So we built it. We're still on 80.
So we need to put the bottom. Oh, you already did that.
The rim's on.
Yep, rim's on. Then step B is to pop it on.
So this needs to go here.
Yep, right there.
Again, we'll use some tape. And since this is metal, I just crease it off the end of the panel. And it marks the tape. So now I see exactly where to cut. Grab the scissors. How many people are watching? 3?
5.
5?
Yes, 5.
Here.
Yep.
I'll let you do that. You're like the pro at it. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I'm going to pre-thread these holes.
You do that. I will peel this.
I will pre-thread and oil these FM holes that this panel is going to go into. He says no help, no amount of beauty sleep will help him. Buck's a funny guy. Why do you think you stopped your streams? Did you just get to a stopping point? You just decided that was enough? All right. There you go. Thank you. I'll take this guy, flip him around. So I'll stick him on the saucer ledge right here. Yeah, that's good. Aww. Came undone. Oh, stuff is so sticky.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Never coming off.
Only when it sticks to the stuff you want it to stick to.
That's right. So I'm using the back side of my tweezers here, not the tweezer end, the other end. This is a long, almost like lozenge depressor. And then we'll fold that down, using that to hold this tack to the bottom of this panel. Then just fold it down. I will put a little ball. I do like to take a little ball of my putty and stuff it in the intersection between these 3 panels. So I will stuff it just like right down in there, and then just pull the tape back up against it. Just to make sure that where these 3 panels meet, I don't get light coming through. Then we can just put this on. Make sure it catches the upper panels. So I'm squeezing it right here. And then this tab needs to go under. And then slide it into place. There we go.
That looks good.
That looks good. And it is caught. I can feel it. It's caught on the outside rim, so that's good. All right. That feels good.
And then you need 2 FMs.
Which I pre-threaded, so these should go in super nice. If I can get it to actually sit in threads, then no, that doesn't feel good at all. Yeah. Go. A little bit of paint in that hole.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna clean that out first. Find the thread and screw it in. It's like that. What did they say? I do a certain number of stages and stop. I've gone over 3 hours. These days I cap at 2 hours. Yeah, I can imagine that you get to a point where people don't want to watch that long. That's just, they'll skip over in the boring parts. But I figured I'm sitting here and I knew we were going to be working on this for a few hours, and we got the little stream thing working, the StreamYards. So why not? Should we test it again?
Yep.
Since I was going to be sitting here doing it anyway.
Alexa, turn off the studio.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Alexa, turn on the studio.
Yeah. Since, we're going to be sitting here doing it anyway, might as well put it on YouTube. And if somebody wants to watch, they can watch. If they don't want to watch, they don't have to watch. All right.
That is the end of this one. Take your photo.
Oh, excellent. Tell me what to do. I'm
Right.
going to go ahead and do it.
Yep.
All right. What's next?
81.
81. Another piece of
Frame.
skeleton.
And wires.
And a bunch of stuff we're not going to use, I can already tell. Empty, empty. So don't need the wires. We don't need this. That's a wire. That's a light holder. We don't need this. So we'll take the wires, throw them in the wire pile.
Okay.
Take the LED holder, throw it here.
And we're going to
Screws, screws. Pop that out. Which side's it going? This side? This side.
This side.
Goes over here?
Yeah, it goes over there. Yep.
All right, so I see some places where the holes don't go all the way through. Like I can see right there that there's barely a pinhole, so I'm just going to open that up with a screwdriver. Check all the holes and make sure there's... The paint catches in these holes, and so sometimes it can gum up the works. So I like to just clear these holes out. And I just grab a screwdriver that'll fit in there and just spin it around a couple times. Doesn't hurt the screwdriver. Clear the flashing out of the holes. If the screw catches on it or it won't go in, you could have trouble with the lighting of the panels. So this one had a lot of goop on it, so we'll just clean that one out. That hole looks good. This one you can see through now. This is good. This hole was painted over, so that saves us some headache. So this one goes here?
Yep. Right there.
All right. Now, this wire, we're going to have to make sure that this wire for this guy doesn't get caught. So we'll just make sure he goes through here. Now, this needs to go under, right? So this, the wire for the formation light, let me make sure everybody can see. Okay. So the wire for the formation light does have a channel. There's a channel in between these. There's a channel down in there that you can get this guy to sit in. Because you want him to come out up here. And then slide this guy underneath just like that. Make sure that wire's not getting caught. There we go. And that's it. These all line up. sits flat. There's no edge here.
Yep.
Between the two panels.
Nice.
And this wire has got room to move. So if you do this right, I should be able to take this wire and pull on it a little bit. See? So it has some room to work with. That's what we want because we haven't got to this edge piece yet. Okay, so those are all going to be BM screws.
Yep. Here's a bunch of BMs.
I'm going to load me up a big fatty.
Yep.
Again, I'll move these around. I will go out in different directions. I'll start here. Let's get the screw started.
Yep.
Is this oiled?
No, I'm not oiled.
Did you oil the last one?
No.
Oh, good job, me. What is he saying?
Oil.
Oh, him.
No.
You know, if you click on it, it'll show up on the screen even.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you click on it, you can actually make it show up on the screen. You can highlight comments.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. There you go.
During the week, so I have to work the next day. Last year, New Year's, we were on Discord from noon till midnight. Why not? I miss having a little music. I really do.
I know the music is key.
Music is, yeah. I'm gonna need other people to get on the stream and sing.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll have Eric sing. Eric and his brother.
Nice.
Have them get on. Have them do some singing. Can't get a copyright strike if you're just singing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those are all the BM screws across the top. We'll do these there on the outside edge, which are FMs. And then I'll go back and tighten them all up.
Yep.
All right. I can't believe we almost have the whole. This is the second. We already have the first half of the skeleton in, the lower skeleton.
Yep. And we've got that's a quarter of the panels, maybe more, because this is probably one giant panel.
So this is interesting because this is off by just a tiny bit. I want to make sure that's going to pull this up where it needs to go. Yep.
Yep.
All right. So those are all those. Now I'll go through and stand up on this.
Yeah.
And crank all these down. I think that should be it. Let's give it once over real quick. What is Joe saying? You want to throw that up on the screen? Let's see what Joe's saying. Thanks for publishing everything on this. I got my Arduino and dusted off. I think I wired my MP3 up wrong. Cooked it when the IC gets too hot to touch after a few seconds. Yes.
The MP3 player does get a little warm.
No, I did the same thing. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was it actually was one of my DF players was bad.
Oh.
And it got so hot you couldn't touch it. Like you would burn yourself if you touched the metal slot for the SD card.
Yeah.
It got stupid hot. It also will do that if the speaker outputs are shorted.
Yeah.
Yes, Buck, you need a helper. That's what you need. I love having Francisco here. It's wonderful. All right, so that's all good.
Yeah.
Is that done? Oh, we need the yes, the
Little tiny
guy.
There you go.
All right.
That is good.
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
Okay.
And they want us to add windows to the battle section middle panel.
Yes. So that is this panel, which has also been resined and blacked. You know what I didn't do though? I double checked all these that they don't need to be painted again. So these need to be touched up.
Yeah.
This is the one I knew there was one panel that wasn't completely done. And I'll show you what I mean. And I don't know if the camera is going to show this, but these have been painted black. But if you look through, and let me see if I can find one that's an example. I don't know if that's going to show through at all. It's probably not going to even focus on it.
No, it doesn't really. Well, I mean, focus.
There's some light coming through these little black panels. There's some light coming through, and that's because I've only done 2 coats of blackout on these windows. And so there's some places that the windows are letting a little light through. And so what I'll do is, before this gets mounted to the thing, I won't do it on the stream. Before this gets mounted and we put the shields on it, I will go through and paint this one more time.
Yeah, it definitely does not get mounted.
I think we're putting these windows in right now, right?
Yeah, you put those windows in right now.
So those windows are already resined, but there's a little panel here.
Ah.
I believe it is this one. Does that look right?
That looks right.
No.
Oh, it's got
this
little,
one.
Yeah, 2 little.
So this is the
well, actually both of them.
Yes, this is the window panel. It's got 2 little divots on the end.
Yeah.
And I have already shaved off the windows off the face of it, sanded it, and painted it white. So that technically goes here, like that. This is the reflector that holds the LED. Again, I cleared it, sanded it, cleared it with alcohol, stripped all the paint off, painted this side white, and we're just going to put that on top here. And that's just going to act as a double reflector for these windows. And what are they held in with?
They are held in with 2 DPs.
Open that up.
2 DPs. And then at some point they want us to attach all the other reflectors. So
these?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or at least one set of them.
All right. Well, we'll do a quick and dirty with my pen.
Okay.
How's that sound?
There you go. 2 DPs.
You want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
I will hold it for you. What is Joe saying? Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Let's see if Eric was here to talk about his disco prize and the 24-volt power. Yeah. I found out also that when I was working on the Wi-Fi, the ESP01 runs off 3.3 volts, but it actually takes a little bit more juice than you can't just run it off the Arduino pin. You don't want to. The Arduino has a 3.3 volt output, but it's not enough juice to run the Wi-Fi card, so you have to feed it. So I got some AMS 1117 voltage regulators, right? Like it's a buck converter basically. It's a voltage regulator that takes it down to 3.3 volts. I put it on my little breadboard and I hooked it all up, but I didn't realize that there's pins that come out of the back of the little AM117 board, and if that pin touches the pins that are on the breadboard, bad things happen. And I melted a big hole in my breadboard. I was wondering what smelled like plastic. Nothing smoked though, but I think it did cook that little AM17 board. So anyway, so that's done. I will take a picture of that real quick.
Yep.
All right.
And then they want you to test the lights.
Test what lights?
Exactly. And that's the end of 81. 82 is where we actually put that.
Oh.
And then that's it. That's literally the last thing, is to put that on and not even screw it in, Todd. So.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
All right. Yay.
Yay.
So basically, this is what we built this thing right here.
Correct.
All right. So I'm gonna take a
put
picture.
The frame up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of that. Do not fall off the back of my table. Okay. What's next? That was the end of 81.
That was the end of 81.
Okay. 82 is pretty empty.
Yep. It's 3 lifeboats. There are 3 of the escape pods. And
empty.
We'll need to get 3 out of the reserves.
So we need to put. You need lifeboats?
Yeah, I need 3 lifeboats, please. And then I will trim them. And you can put the
lifeboat hatches. We'll put the phaser array on. CPs. We got CPs. CPs. Where's the screws for this?
They weren't in the back, were they?
No, that's okay. What's it supposed to have?
It's supposed to have for the. I'm sure I put them in my DPs actually.
These are DPs?
Yeah, it says DP.
Oh, okay. I have DPs. I got lots of DPs. I got screws coming out my tail. On which section are you talking about, Buck? Are you talking about this part on the neck? Yes, this is perfectly flat. You could easily use resin tape on that. Yeah, I've never melted a bread bowl before. Need the glue again.
Well, the nice thing about usually when we're breadboarding is it's on a current limited power supply, and so it'll prevent it from causing any. I mean,
no, when my bench supply realized there was a short and shut the power off before it got really out of hand, but it definitely got hot enough to melt some jumper wires. Got hot enough to melt the breadboard, and then my power supply shut off. And then I had the power supply and the USB hooked up at the same time because you can do that on a Uno. Because I was watching the serial monitor, and then the USB overloaded and disconnected as well. But again, those are protection circuits designed for a reason. So I just unplugged it, found out what was melted, and everything was fine.
Yep.
Replace. I bought a 10-pack of those voltage converters, so I had spares, and it did not hurt the wireless card, and it didn't hurt anything else. It just melted my breadboard, which that's why you prototype. Thank you very much for trimming those.
Yeah. No problem. And then it's got the weird array of covers.
All right. This one has a little catch on it.
Yep.
These are AMs.
AMs, yep. Need 3 of them.
Well, sadly, I only have 2. So we have to get some out of a spare bag. I got some here.
Okay. And then it also needs one of those clear diffusers once you're done with that.
I assume, does this go this way? I assume? Kind of looks like it does.
No, it looks like it goes skate towards the outside.
Really?
Yeah.
They have it going this way? Ooh. They have it going this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. Whatever.
Some engineers spend a lot of time figuring that out.
Yep. Well, see, I got Buck thinking about doing the neck.
Oh, with resins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Originally, I didn't want to do it, but see, I'm like, I don't know,
was-
man. It wasn't. It's
easy.
it's not easy, but it's mostly
doable.
just time consuming because you have to do little sections at a time because there's complex curves in it.
Yep.
And so by using the resin tape, you just have to do it slowly and slowly and slowly. The other thing is too is it's worth noting that when you use the resin tape, like I used the Tamiya curved tape for like these windows, right? Tucked them in here, used a toothpick and a cotton swab to get really tight seals because those are resin as well.
Yeah.
That's a nice seal is that that Tamiya curves tape doesn't quite leave a glossy surface, and some people may even like that. Does not leave a very smooth, shiny surface. There's a little bit of imperfection in the outside of the window, but you're never going to see it. So
you need one more AM screw.
They do?
Yes, for
the reflector. Yeah.
And then that's it.
And the reflectors. Which one is it? It's this
VR.
Yeah, so it's this guy. These were also again cleared and painted white. So this just acts as a diffuser because one of these windows is clear, right? So that way the LED panel will light it up. All the rest of them are black. Okay, now what?
That's it.
That's it. Literally, what's the end of the issue? Just this
thing?
thing?
The end of the issue is putting this thing. Yeah, putting that in here and not even screwing it in, just setting it there.
All right. So.
And then that's it.
I'm going to take a picture of this panel real quick.
Yeah. You take a picture of this in here too?
Yeah, throw that in there where it's supposed to go. I will set this like that. Take a nice picture of it. Okay. And then that literally set this in.
Just set it in there.
Excellent. Well, that's good because I can pull it out and I can paint all the windows after the stream's over.
Uh-huh.
All right. That's it, huh?
That's it.
So let's just leave that off.
We are through 82.
And let's see what this looks like. So this sits on here like so. It's got a couple little latching points here where it needs to fit in. There's one, and there's a little bend. There goes the other one. So that sits on there like so. It's eventually screw down. Now if we grab the we're done, right? So we can start.
That's it.
Does everybody want to see it? There's a whopping 3 people on.
Yes.
Does everybody want to see me hook this thing up to the wiring and the Wi-Fi and make it go? Or should I just do that as a separate video as a demo stream and put it on YouTube?
The way we've done the other ones.
Yeah, like we've done the other ones. I think that sounds better. I will show the stand I made. So I made this stand. And all this is a big, heavy 10-pound weighted base that had a hole in the middle of it that's made for tripods. So it's 1/4 inch by 20 threaded. I got a little tripod. I got a little this little 2.5 inch extension. I got an adapter that takes it from 1/4 inch 120 or 1/4 inch 20 up to an M8 screw 1.25. And this is just the plug. This part here. Pull this off. This is the original square post that's on the tripod they send you on the display stand, which is garbage. The display stand is awful. All I did was get a little adapter from McMaster Carr to go into this threaded, which threads into this. And now I have a base that only sits like 4 inches off the ground. Now, because this base is 10 pounds, it is really heavy. When this is on here, it sits like that. So now my ship will only sit 4 inches off the ground. And this plate is so heavy, it is solid metal. This is so heavy, there's no way that the front, even if this thing holds the weight of the saucer, which I hope it does, this ain't tipping over. This is not a permanent option. This was just something I built while we were building the Enterprise. I was not going to use this permanent because this is still solid, and I want to run wiring up inside the ship from the base. But for now, in the short term, it works great. Everybody's saying yes, but I think, oh, that's so heavy. Oh, that's so heavy. What do you want? You tell me. Are you falling asleep?
I'm falling asleep and I need to go home because like I said, I still have errands to run. You can keep going. I am checking out.
Yeah, I think this stream's been long enough. I think what we'll do is maybe, I don't know what you're up to tomorrow, but maybe
Yeah,
we can all set. I'm not going to do it on a live stream, but
Yeah.
I'll set everything up. I'll hook up all the wiring and everything, and we'll do a quick demo of it working with Wi-Fi
Cool.
and all the new lighting we put in and the rear, the rear. Where's the nacelles? Where's the base?
Over here.
We will put this up on the.
Because that goes
Yeah. So this is going to sit in here
like that.
like this.
Yeah.
Right. So this will sit here, and that way we can take a picture of. I mean, we could probably put a temporary strip in here just to light that up, but I don't know what all this takes to go in here. It looks like it needs to sit kind of like that, something like that. It's close. But anyway, we can hook it up and we'll test the rear lights. We'll test all these formation lights because these are new. The rear torpedo light is just new, and we'll go from there. But I was going to finish what I was saying about the deflector. The front deflector for the deflector dish, we're going to replace the 2 white LEDs that are in it with blue LEDs, and then I'm going to wire them to run off the same circuit as the Bussard collectors. These. Because they typically, a lot of times you'll see the deflector dish power up with the warp engines. So that way these will come on together, which I think will look pretty cool. And then I have the Bussard collectors. When you shut the engines off, the blue goes away and then the red takes a little longer to go away. And I think that'll look good with the Bussard or with the deflector dish.
Yeah.
And since the blue is wired to go to warp, that won't affect the deflector dish.
Yep.
So that's it. I think that's it. I think that's good.
I think so too. We made look where we are now.
Yeah, I think we made some
Really good progress today.
We can turn the saucer around.
Ooh, yeah.
So we can kind of see everything, all the stuff we've worked on, which is a whole bunch of this saucer.
Yep.
There we go. A whole bunch of this saucer. A bunch of the rear engineering section. Of course, you can't see the nacelles. Let me move that over.
There you go.
You know, we have another panel to put in later on.
And we've literally run out of steps.
And that is it. We're pretty much built through 82, which is as many packs as I have.
So, yeah. We'll come back, mess with lighting, make sure all that stuff is still working.
Yeah, we'll make sure the saucer still works.
Yeah, make sure the saucer
it's all self-contained now, but we can still make sure it works.
Yep.
Yeah, and maybe we'll hook this up tomorrow and put out a video of the whole thing working, showing how the blink works and the Wi-Fi works and everything. Cool.
Maybe do a live stream.
I don't know if you're feeling up for it. You tell me when you're going to be here, and we can let everybody know.
That's a good idea. We try and give people an advance warning.
We can give it
on the internet.
And you'll have to let me know on Discord or something if anybody from HTM is streaming tomorrow, so I don't step on them.
There you go.
But we can definitely give it a shot. But we'll pick it up right where we left off. I'm not going to move a thing. We'll leave it right here, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.